Y'all know what time it is? It's boom time. Let's do it.
Are you ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom!
Boom. Are we on? Yeah, I think we are on. Today is Monday, January 24th of 2021. And you all got to tell me if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. If you all can hear me, leave this stream a like or dislike. I like the likes better. So please, please, if you are watching this now and you can hear me, hit the thumbs up. There's a way that you can support, and it's via PayPal. The link is pinned above in the chat box. So please, please consider supporting. Times are tough. Uh, the the loss of my previous channel have hurt me a lot. So if y'all can give a little, I appreciate that. Yeah, thumbs up. I see you. Y'all hear me? Rest in peace, Schrodinger's cat. YouTube person that he was a part of these festivities for a long time. He used to come into this channel a lot when he had a smaller channel. He was struggling to get to up to 1,000 subscribers. I know via through me, he got a handful of subscribers via everybody, and then he boom, he we went boom, and he was very successful. I always wish him the best. I say it's not my style. I don't do this sovereign citizens and all this stuff he was doing now. But I I not I not didn't support him. It's not that I supported him, but I just didn't dislike the guy. He was doing great. And the last time that I was on his show, that I went trolling responsibly, hardcore trolling responsibly, is when he had a debate on his channel. It was Stingray playing the Flat Earth character versus Bobby. If I'm not mistaken, there was a Flat Earth debate in Schrodinger's cat channel. And I went to that channel and I trolled responsibly. And this is the last sound that was heard from me in Schrodinger's cat video. That's for you, Schrodinger's. Whatever you are, man. Rest in peace. He was a good guy. He was a military guy, family guy, successful. Shout out to Schrodinger's cat. This Squeaky Earth and myself were trolling him in one of his streams. Shout out to you. It was all in good sports. You took it well, my friend. You took it well. Yeah, he used to come in to these festivities. Now, it's unfortunate that my main channel got deleted. My previous channel got hacked. I had at least maybe 40 50 times, probably 50 times that he was in this show, like for longer times. He had a lot of back and forth debates with a lot of flatter debate. I call it debates very, very loosely. He had a lot of conversations and discussions with a lot of flat earthers. This channel being open to everybody coming hang out, and he used to come in and hang out a lot. Yeah, he was cool. Now, I'm gonna share my screen. Hopefully, everybody can see it. Let me kill my camera first so we can do this. I'm gonna share my screen, and this is an extract from Schrodinger's cat channel. You see, this video was streamed live on Schrodinger's cat channel on April the 1st, 2019. In this time, Schrodinger's cat had maybe 700, 800 subscribers when he invited me to his channel. He was just shy to 1,000 subscribers. And he's like, Jose, man, you gotta come onto my channel and do kind of an interview with me. I said, yeah, let's do it. And on April the 1st, 2019, I was there on his channel, and I'm gonna play a little bit of it, so you get an idea of how Schrodinger's cat was. If you guys don't know him, hopefully you can hear this. Here we go. And stuff. Yeah, that's a no for me,
Right.
for real.
And I was a military guy, so even I, before you even stepped in, said, "Hey, dude, dial it back."
Yeah.
And and I think at one point you told him, "Hey, type one more thing."
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did. And so at that point, that's just disrespect. Like he
It
had
is.
to
It is.
go. So my next question, uh, when you were in the flat Earth community, were you just in the echo chamber, or did you watch folks well, I guess Conspiracy Cats and Craig and folks like them weren't around, but did you watch some of the others who were making videos in opposition to flat Earth, or was it just the echo chamber that kept you there?
I was on the flat Earth really deep, probably about 2 years solid. Maybe the first year, I was just on the flat Earth, just watching flat Earth content and not subscribed to anybody on the globe side debunking the flat Earth or doing hangouts against it. I was aware of Red Rhetorics. I was aware of Soundly. I was aware of Slice Parkane, Sean Hofford, and a few more. And I knew the Rumpus and the other characters that used to join the Nathan Oakley show.
Right.
But the bigger channels was, I think, Soundly, Red Rhetorics, or whatever. I saw some of their footage, but from my flattered, just close-minded point of view, that I was very active in the Nathan Oakley show, I didn't want any part of it. Now, one day, even before I joined the Nathan Oakley show, I joined the Discord server from Gem Panda Discord server, Debate Flattered and More, which I'm still part of it, and I'm active on it, and it's awesome.
Yeah, Gem Panda's good.
Yeah. So before I went, I think Louis Hackett, he was in the neighborhood big time a while ago. He hung the gloves. He said, "I quit the flat Earth. It's good for him, man. You got out." So he used to live stream the Discord server in his channel, and he put a link one day. I said, "I'm gonna click it to see what this is," even before joining Hangouts ever. And I went on the Discord, and I think, I don't know who else. There was a couple people talking, and I spoke like, I just got a few questions. How does this work? And maybe I had a little 5-minute participation. Right. And I was nervous, like, oh shit, I'm talking to these people from YouTube that I heard them on YouTube. It was kind of exciting, right? And maybe on and off once a week, I jump in there for like 5 or 10 minutes, ask a question or two, and then they give me all these long answers, and I just walk away. But I wasn't retaining anything. Right. When I came very active in the flat Earth debate, I wasn't even going. But the same 6 times. Yeah, this was on 2019 when I was on Schrodinger's cat. Rest in peace for those who didn't know. He passed away yesterday of unknown reasons. We don't gonna speculate. Anybody will until whoever their closer sources, their family members and close friends give a reason or whatever happened to with him. We will know. Nobody will make any speculations, but yeah. Let's hear the last few minutes here. See what we get. 380.
There
And
you
they
go.
say, fucking beautiful. That's it. That's all we needed. And Riley couldn't answer that question. It's a shame.
But what my point is about that, like that's a simple example. But when you get a little bit more complicated, like there may be some things people are rusty on,
Yeah.
and they're thinking, well, I don't want to get cornered by that one day.
Yep.
So they go look it up. So we're all learning. Because I'll be honest, I have looked up a lot of stuff going through this because stuff that I used to know that I forgot, or stuff that I didn't know, but I don't want to get in a debate or get, on a chat and get cornered.
Exactly.
So, you and I have both said this during this talk. We don't want to get, backed into a corner. So what are we doing? We're learning, and then,
Amen.
and then when our kids want to know something, guess what? We know it because we looked it up.
Yeah.
And like I have this thing. And
Okay.
I took my son out in the front yard the other day, right before I took him to school. The sun had come up, and I held it up. The moon was up that way, and I held it up
Nice.
and showed him how it was illuminated
Exactly the same way.
exactly the same way as the moon.
Indeed.
And that's a direct result of, I don't know who it was, some Englishman who put a video up and said, well, the moon doesn't look right because look how it's illuminated. The funny thing was, I went back and forth with him for about 10 different posts. And then I went back and I was looking at something, and he had done this. He was pointing at the moon, and the moon was illuminated on this side, and so was his finger.
Yeah, that is.
And I said, hey, go to whatever 27 minutes and 43 seconds and look at your finger and look at the moon. And he blocked me.
Oh, come on, butt hurt. Big shout out. Big condolences to the close friends and family of Schrodinger's cat. The show must go on over here. He was an interesting character, man. He was an interesting guy. He had a lot of stories to tell, and big shout out to him. Let's go. Last time. Yeah. We're gonna move on to Discord. Let's see what the guys have over there to say. Hold on. I gotta click on the unmute on deafen. Let's see what they get. Shout out to everybody in YouTube land. In YouTube, we have Slice Parkane, Jomongus, RT96, Troll Responsibly, Flip Flop, Patio Furniture, Prono 1990. We also have Howard Moore, Charlie Welch, Punta, Marcus Dresden, Chris Hammond, Stone Monkey 3D, Farmer's Boy, Fred Bailey, Brad Wegner, Dora Nku, Mr. Victory's Radio, James Mine, and Zebulon 181. If I miss anybody, please. Sorry about that. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Farmer's Boy in the call, left lane, and the Stingray. What's up, guys?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. I was just playing a little bit of a memory that I had a little interview with Schrodinger's cat back in the day, 2019. For those who haven't seen it, just go to his channel, scroll back, and check it out. He passed away yesterday. I guess you all know. We know. Please do not tell the audience any reasons of his death. We all know he passed away. That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
If anybody want to find out the reasons and other personal little details, please go to his channel and contact his family and friends. What's up, guys? What do you think about that? That's crazy, right? You see,
I was really surprised.
Yep.
I woke up this morning and checked on my phone and had a look in Discord to see what was going on. Saw that I believe the Shields Discord server got hacked. Somebody hacked Amy's Discord account, and I thought, wow, that's brutal.
Right.
Then the next thing I noticed, Schrodinger's cat's died, and it's like, what? Fuck me. Yeah. I believe. I'm not entirely sure if his wife was actually streaming at the time, but he was due to join in the live stream and he didn't. And they said that's very unusual for him. So they were trying to contact him on his mobile phone, and of course he's not answering it. And I think eventually, it was actually a Marvel girl contacted the local police because the hotel staff said, "Well, we can't just go barging in, you know."
Yeah.
So contacted the local police department, and they did a welfare check, as they call it. So I believe that they said, "No, come on, where's your pass? Let us in. Let's have a look." And
Yep.
Oh,
That's what you mentioning is what was spoken in his stream by his wife or his family.
his wife, yeah. And then I watched. I couldn't watch all of that stream. I mean, the poor old girl. There she is, sort of hours after they discovered that her husband's
breaking
dead.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just couldn't watch too much of it. I thought, no, I just. Yeah, I mean, what was he? I think he was 46, which is.
He was a young guy. He was. I'm 46. You know, we were kind of same age.
Same age. Yeah,
he was a young guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, blimey, who knows? And of course, there's absolutely no point speculating because we don't know. And I'm sure eventually, when everybody knows and the family's happy with it, they'll tell us.
They will give more details to his fans. You know. Yeah.
I mean, I hadn't spoken to him for quite some time because, like you say, he used to be quite irregular in here, didn't he? And
yeah. Then he switched shifts when the auditors and sovereign citizens, he blew up. You know, his channel went viral. So he was doing more of all this stuff. He got a new audience when still, some of the old audience followed him, but not everybody's interested in the same topic. So that's why we separated a little bit from what he was doing recently.
I watched some of them. I mean, the Sov Sit thing. I didn't think we really got it over here in the UK, although it turns out that, yes, we do, but not to quite an extent that you do over in the States. But, I'd watched some of them. But like I say, it had been a while since I'd spoken to them. And yes, that whole live debate with a certain gentleman who's here pretending to be a flat earther, that's got to be one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Let me get his thought. But first, left bro lane, check if you're there. What's up, man?
Yeah, I'm in, just listening.
Cool. Working hard or hardly working?
Working hard, always.
Always. All right, man. Yeah. And we got the Stingray wish, yeah? He was that was the last time that I was in one of Schrodinger's cat channel when I went uninvited trolling responsibly hardcore with Squeaky Earth. Stingray, what's up, man?
Yeah, just I mean, I used to like Cliff. That was really good. I remember obviously my debate with Bob on his channel. But I remember Cliff doing something pretty stunning to his wife. I think it was on Sean G's live stream.
Yes.
It just came up with the idea, I'm going to prank the wife by setting off firecrackers right outside her window while she's asleep.
I forgot
and he
about
did it
that.
live on Sean G.
Yes. Oh, yeah. How could I forget that? Yeah. That was epic.
Yeah.
It's like, are you really? Are you really going? Yeah. Pop. And he did.
Yeah,
and
terrible.
she didn't kill him. Which was like, what? How'd you get away with that? Yeah. Yes, That's a shame. He was a thoroughly nice bloke. He had a very, very dry sense of humour when he wasn't trying to scare his wife half to death. Yeah.
He had a very peculiar sense of humor. I didn't get it in the beginning. Then halfway, I said like, yeah, he's like dry, and he throw these one-liners and some jokes every once in a while. I said like, yeah, I know, I got his style. It's not for everybody, but he was a funny guy. Now he didn't look funny when he was being funny.
Yeah.
That's the
I think possibly deadpan is probably the best description. Very dry and very deadpan. Tell a joke whilst holding a completely straight face, and yeah, half the time, is he joking? Is he? Yeah. It's a real shame. It is a real shame. I mean, when people sort of get into their 70s and 80s and 90s, you think, yeah, fair play, you're getting on. That's fair enough. But 46, I mean, Christ, I passed that 5 years ago. It's not an age at all.
Yeah. Younger guy. I mean, I say young because listening from a second, like 46 is young. I am 46, even though I mean, I don't know. Whatever I look, whatever I feel, 46 is young.
Yes.
We were the same age. I didn't know. I thought he was older than me just by the looks. Just when I look at people, I see people that look older than me, even though we are the same age. And if I see myself from really close, I do look old too,
Yeah, some people carry the mileage better than others, I guess.
Yeah, right. Hey, the military life, like whatever military related, that hits hard, that hit hard for anybody.
Yeah, and of course he was still, although he was ex-military, he was still working for them, wasn't he?
Yeah, right.
I think that's why he seemed to spend half of his life in hotel rooms, because he was here and there all over the place at various naval bases and, down in submarines and Christ knows what else he was doing.
All right.
Yeah, shame that. But
I hear that. There's a few things. If anybody, I heard that a few days ago, now, moving on, I heard a few days ago, there was something, some kind of a rocket launch, some kind of satellites. I don't know anything about it. I heard it. I said like, all right, we'll check it out tomorrow or another day. It just never happened. I don't know if you want to guide me through or post any links that we can kind of take a quick look at it.
Let's think. Cool. SpaceX did a launch. That might have been the one we was talking about. SpaceX did a launch a few days ago. No, they've done two. They did a Starlink a few days ago, and then I think probably about a week ago they did what they call Transporter 3, and that had many and various satellites on it. I think it had something like over 100 satellites on it. So yeah, SpaceX have done two launches in the last week. Somebody else the other day, it was an Atlas V launch. I can't think who that was. I've lost track, to be honest. I will have a look for you.
Yeah. While you look for that, Stingray, I found something, a screenshot of, for some reason, in my Flip Flop channel was subscribed to Karen B. I don't know if you heard Karen B, right? And she put a new video like, oh, there's a new show or a new something that she's gonna have, and she put a preview, a trailer of the new show. And I don't know if this is something that she believes in, but it's some kind of a model of I don't know what. But I'm gonna post a screenshot on the Daily Boom Uncensored, the screenshot that I took. I don't know what the fuck all these lines are. And the video was like 7 minutes clip, and I was scrolling every minute. But at the end, it has some bold letters like after this, like this is as far as I gone with the model or something like that. She say, "What do you think about that?" I'm gonna share that to the audience. That screenshot that I have. You guys tell me what you think. As for a flat Earth model, I've been looking for that.
To me, it looks like their typical circular flat Earth with the sun and the moon somehow going around. And then we've got this weird toroidal sort of lines all around it. And I haven't the faintest idea what that's supposed to represent.
This is what caught my attention. This little circle right here and leaf coming around, and then in the other side like this. Would this represent somehow the rotation of the poles in the South Pole or something?
It looks like she's trying to show. Yeah, in the white lines seem to show the two poles. Maybe, but then that means if either one is a North Pole, it's not over the centre. It's a mess. I don't know what it's trying to show.
I have no fucking idea, man.
I mean, it's a pretty shade of purple, but other than that, I don't know.
Yeah.
It does show the entire surface lit up as it would be.
Right.
Yeah, this is true. How would anyone on the flat Earth experience nighttime?
I mean, how high will this moon and this sun is? It will brighten everything up. I mean, this look like a little brighter, but still. I mean, it's just doesn't add up.
If you go by the scale of the continents and everything else, I mean, they can't be, I don't know, anywhere between, I don't know, 2,000
This is just Dodo.
I mean, it's bollocks.
This is just the Dodo Earth, the AE map, pretty much, with a bunch of random lines, like psychedelic lines around.
Yeah, and of course, with all of that going on, how do we ever get lunar eclipses?
I gotta go take a piss. When I get back, we'll check on the brackets. I'm gonna leave that on the screen.
Okay. Rock.
You're like something I'm just pissing around with at the moment, farmers. I'm coming up with another flat Earth example file.
Oh yeah.
But this time, I've decided to try and make it a little bit real. So I'm going to share this. So I'm constructing the ISS so I can compare. But that also requires that I have quite a complex, very decent planet underneath as well.
Yeah, that's fair.
But once I'm done, I'm hoping it'll look pretty much like the ISS footage. But then this is just CGI. And it'll look very much like the ISS footage. So at the bottom here, I've got a rasterized renderer, a ray tracer doing the Earth.
Yeah.
And it will do the transit exactly like you'd expect, but even it gets the cycles renderer in Blender starts putting in more detail and more detail and more detail until eventually it does actually look. It should look almost no different to what you would see on a on the actual live ISS footage.
Well, yeah. Well,
which is a bit.
Is there something slightly off with the curvature of the Earth?
No.
What's going on here? Are you sharing the screen?
Oh yeah, sorry, yes.
Let me share you for YouTube so we can see what's going on.
Actually, no, there isn't. If we zoom back, that's actually just a super wide angle. Blah 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 blah.
Oh right, so that is classic lens distortion then.
Yeah. It's the square that we see that matches kind of the 12 or 22 or 24 millimeter cameras that are on the ISS.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can match the cameras up like a piece of piss. But it's starting to look pretty fakeable.
Yeah.
So I'll just let this finish and build up detail. So at the moment, all my 28 cores of my my computer are going flat out right now to try and
yeah, I bet they are.
construct the Earth. But once it's done, you can see fluffy clouds and everything. It's lovely.
I did see there was a rather nice photo put up the other day, taken from the ISS of the plume, the dust plume in the atmosphere from that volcano that went off.
Oh yeah,
that covers a hell of an area. Just this big sort of browny grey sort of haze in the atmospheres. Yeah, the amount of crap.
Oh, here we go. Here's a nice bit of cloud cover that it'll render in. I don't know where we're going over at the moment, but And I need to figure out the orbit a little bit better, and the timings of the orbit, so I can actually send it along the path. But basically, this example I'll give out to people, and it's just like, well, go and test. Like, some of the arguments are so ridiculous. It's like you can't, you see too much of the Earth, kind of thing. And it actually did surprise me how high the ISS actually is. When you think, oh, it's 408 kilometers high, you think, oh, that's not high compared to the size of the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say, hang about that point, you need to look down at 35 degrees to hit an horizon.
Yes.
And then you think, well, hang about, that is quite a down angle. So if you're on the ISS, my God, are you really high looking down at this thing? And what people don't understand is, with your clear eyes, you can pretty much see a huge portion of the planet.
Well, it looks like a huge portion, although, of course, from the ISS, you can see approximately 4% of the Earth's surface, which just goes to show, it's scale again. It's how big the Earth actually is. But yeah, I've seen it noted several times. I think they have worked out you can see about 4% of the Earth's surface at any one time from the ISS.
But I mean, this here, if we look at the top view, this here is the camera that we're looking through here.
Yep.
Now, unfortunately, this ISS is just here for show. This is more the camera position, because this ISS is, wait a minute, 100,000 times bigger than it is normally.
Yes, I mean, the ISS is big, but oh boy.
Yeah. But I mean, if I made it what it is, the renderer doesn't hardly show it, but it can render this view of the Earth. So I just thought, oh well, yeah, it doesn't rightly matter, and there's the ISS. But this is the actual camera and the view, and as much of the Earth as you get in that view. And yeah, it's an incredibly small amount. If I scaled this camera up so that, you know, the lines intersect to the ends, you can see that you're just seeing a tiny little portion if you're looking like this, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely CGI if I can do this in a couple of minutes. But yeah, I still need to work out the orbits.
Yeah.
I really do. And I've started doing my high resolution flat Earth map, which is a lot better than my previous one, that will actually use toroidal energy fields again for the sun to get sunsets and stuff.
I suspect that's what that's what Dozy Bollocks is trying to show in that sort of image with those purple lines made with some sort of toroidal field, but I don't know.
Well, yeah.
It's bollocks. Oh, Fred did make a good point. Yeah, we'll ask Lindsay. Lindsay will be able to explain it. Not that will help.
I was here talking like an ass.
And you were muted the whole time.
I was muted, yeah.
Like
Big
a
shout out
pro.
to everybody. All the new, one new person showed up. M Stone, hello, are you new? Thank you. Welcome back to the show. And shout out to everybody over here shout out to everybody on YouTube. If you haven't done so, please hit that like or dislike. We got 40 people watching. That's great. Big audience. Cool. And if you want to support, do it via PayPal. But most important, if you want to support, join the call. And we are in Discord today, the Daily Boom Discord server. And we have the Stingray presenting. Brian Mabbit is deafened and muted. Farmer's Boy in the house. J-Mac is here. Left Bro Lane. Paid NASA Bro. And RC Maestri.
And here's the classic, well, the sun is more like a spotlight argument. Great. Well, what's it do after lighting up Africa?
Yeah.
And Gadget Inspector is new. Hello, new person.
Oh, yes. He is Spannerless.
So what are we looking at here? What are you doing, Stingray? I wanna be on it.
I'm working on my flat Earth model, which, if the sun is a spotlight, this is what we get. Which, it's actually not terrible in lighting this up. It really isn't terrible. But the issue is it doesn't match the Terminator line or anything like that. The only thing that does that is a sphere.
You say, can you get precisely half the Earth to illuminate?
So my question in counter to that would be, no, it doesn't match the other model that I've got, but who says that it should?
But is the sun physical?
The sun is giving off energy.
Shatter Stone.
As far as I'm aware, there is nothing that directly gives off energy that is non-physical.
Now, there was by coincidence, I heard today a little bit on the Oakley show. To punish myself early in the morning to be angry and the rest of the day, and they were like, any evidence for the distance to the sun? And Arwin went in like, there's no distance to the sun. And before Arwin spoke or after, they were going on about like, oh, but look at this dot cam and look at the sunspot. Therefore, the sun is right above over here somewhere. And I was like, no, the sun doesn't have a location. And Oakley was like, well, how is it giving a sunspot then? A hot spot on the earth. Therefore, the sun is there, is somewhere in there. Who knows how high and how big it is, but it's there. And I was like, no, it's holographic in nature or whatever bullshit. Then another guy goes like, but Arwin, think about he was Nathan. Like, I don't think the sun has a location. Nathan, yeah, it has a sunspot. And then Arwin was like, and the other guy to Arwin was like, well, Nathan, think about this. I'm with Arwin because if you are in the beach in the sunset and you see the strike of the sun to your feet, then another person like far away from you is looking at the sun, then they got the streak on their feet. So if there was a sunspot in one spot, it's not going to be the same sunspot for another person. They were arguing for this, I don't know, ridiculousness of the sun was physical or not. I think some of the Nathan guys say the sun must be physical, but they don't want to claim or commit to any claims on how high or big it is. But then you got the Arwins, they said, no, it's just holographic, it's magically projected somehow. What do you think about it?
That's a cop out.
You're in utter shit.
Yeah, I mean, just from a logic point of view, you don't. If I say to farmers in a conversation, hey, what's Jose like? And farmers goes, well, he's not Asian. I'm no better off, really.
It's not very helpful, is it?
It doesn't actually tell me what you're like at all. And it was kind of a pointless statement. He's not Asian and he's not an elephant. He can't fly. It's like, well, yeah, but who's
he's not giving you anything on how I am. He's telling you what I am not. Things that obviously I am not,
Yeah. You don't start to describe something or start even a thought by saying what something isn't.
Oh, but
when
that's
you're
the whole.
focused on trying to find out what it is. And the thing is, if you actually said, and a truth statement and a knowledge claim is something like the sun is definitely not physical, and the crazy thing about that is to justify it to yourself, what you would have to have done is found something non-physical that could plausibly have the same attributes as what you're looking at that we call the sun, and say, well, it's like this, therefore. You can't suddenly say, well, the sun's non-physical because I'm comparing it to nothing that I've ever seen before in my life. You can't do that as well. So not only is it illogical, it's also lunacy, and that's my take on it.
But this is the whole flat Earth argument is what it's not. This, 200 reasons why the Earth is not a globe is the classic. They always show what it's not, never what it is. So, like I said, 2022 is the year of the flat Earth. It's going to prove the Earth is actually flat. I'm only going to accept evidence saying the Earth is blank, not the Earth is not blank. The Earth is whatever.
It's not tiring for all of them to continuously saying what is not. And I want to tell you the earth is flat because it's not this and it's not that. It doesn't behave like this, it doesn't do that. But why don't you tell me what it is and how it works and how it behaves? They can't. It's painful for them to say what it is.
I think because deep down they know. So it's very easy to say, no, we don't know what it is. No, we can't model it. No, we haven't got any photos. You can't measure it. Sorry. But it's not a sphere. It's a very easy way of getting out to actually having to present anything at all.
Like I said, we're 24 days into 2022. All I've gotten so far from flat earthers is it looks flat. That's the only.
Yeah, that's pretty much all they've ever used. When you boil it down, when you boil it right down to what they're saying, it looks flat, and I can't feel it rotate. Therefore,
well, I haven't even heard that one. Mostly it's just it looks flat.
Yeah,
because you could have a sphere and not have it rotate, I guess. But
one of the key things about it looks flat is I agree with them. But one of the
I'll give them that.
Yeah, I mean, one of the nonsensical things that I just can't grasp is show us the curvature, measure it. So I will say to flat earthers, I will measure the curvature as soon as you measure the same distance flat. But your distance, just to make sure it's truly flat, or on average flat, please measure 100 miles. How would you do that? It's like saying to the average individual, the Burj Khalifa, please measure how high it is. Don't go on what the plans say or what the architects say or what the surveyor says. Go measure it. Great. How would you do that? Because flat earthers would only accept one massive fucking ruler. And that's ridiculous. Oh, how about measuring the distance via light from the base to a known point, then the angle upwards, and use basic, and when I say basic, I mean first year mathematic trig. Is that applicable? No, measure it. It's ridiculous.
I got a quick two big shout outs. I got some big support over here via PayPal. Now there's one that it was a little glitch, so that I didn't receive the note that came with it. So I'm gonna, whenever I get the note, I'll read it. But I can still giving a big shout out. Anamorphic Mind gave me money, $20. Holy hell! Yesterday there was a trolling issue going on around about Anamorphic Mind. He pays me like he is my like I do YouTube because Anamorphic Mind is my handler and he pays me and shit. That was going on. So Anamorphic Mind, thank you for paying me the $20. I love it.
Oh,
The rumor is that Big Blue pays Anamorphic Mind to be a troll, a troll to flat earthers, and then Anamorphic Mind pays me so I can do this show. Shout out to you. And now there's another one. I'm waiting for that note, but there's another one. Dude, this is a big one, man. Danny, oh, this is scam. A scam. Hello. The dealer. Hey, look at that. My car insurance for my car extended warranty. Fuck you. This is What was I reading? Oh, RT96. RT96 gave me money, dude. A big $50, bro. RT96, thank you so much for that support. He say, I know it's hard without the channel. Hope this helps with rent and such. RT96, hell yeah, brother. It does help a lot. Big time. And I got the note for Anamorphic Mind. Here's the $20 I got from Big Blue to give you. Enjoy it. Just don't tell Rakia. Rakia was the one with the rumor. Blue pays Anamorphic, Anamorphic pays me, and this is the evidence, quote, proof that you need. Thank you, Anamorphic. Thank you, Artie, for your big support. Appreciate it.
Do you believe anything Rakia tells you?
No.
Okay,
Oh,
that's good.
That yesterday, that was hilarious. I mean, paranoid. I'm not paranoid. I know they're out to get me. I mean, it's just.
Oh man. Okay, I
Yeah.
got three kitchen appliances here. Are you gonna do a smoothie in one? You're gonna do vegetables in another one for sofrito. What are you gonna do in the other one? Are you just crunching ice? Stingray. You up on screen. With the three kitchen appliances on screen. One is blue for ice, the other one is for vegetables, the middle one, and the other one is for smoothies.
No.
Oh, that's
So-
not it?
No. So this is actually quite interesting because this is a problem for Flat Earth because not one Flat Earther agrees on this. And believe it or not, Brian Mabbott agrees with what should happen, but therefore doesn't realize that in agreeing with what does actually happen, it actually invalidates density being a driving factor of why things fall and giving them force. And this is a lovely thought experiment, but you could actually perform this yourself. If you have a sealed glass container with a lid that's sealed, just like our beautiful flat Earth has got a container around it with the atmosphere, and you have three of them, on the left-hand side, we fill it full of water. In the middle, we fill it full of air. And on the right, we have a vacuum. Now, if we do not have the gold bars in here, and I chose gold because it's a really dense material and expensive. So if we don't have the gold in there, we zeroed the scales. These are scales.
The word dense, I have heard that dense means something with being really smart or not.
Not.
Is that the dense we're talking about, the smartest or less smart?
No.
Both.
Well, it relates.
Yeah. So we have scales underneath these. And the thought experiment is this. If the matter that something is in and the density difference gives it a vector and a force, even though there's actually no way for it to give it a vector, but let's just say it just goes down for, because it wants to. But then we need to calculate the magnitude of the force. Now, if it's the density of things around it, that would mean if we tear these scales, zero these scales out with containers with water, container with air, container with a vacuum, and then we put the gold bar in there, that would mean the gold bar would alter those scales differently for each one of these. Because we are inside a container, because obviously gas or anything can't be not contained, especially around a vacuum. So we've got a container, and this is exactly how flat earthers believe, well, those that buy into density disequilibrium bollocks, believe that it is. That's what gives it weight. The fact that the difference between the gold and the air, which gives it its weight. And that difference is different when you have a difference between the gold and the water or the gold and the vacuum. So the gold, the force exerted on the scale should be different in these three examples. But oddly, it isn't. And you can perform this experiment yourself, even with something like a lemonade bottle that you can seal, and just drop a marble into it or something, and then drop it in with air, and you can see that each time you'll just measure the weight of the marble, and that's it.
Well, that's similar to the one where you get in the pool and you take your weight in the pool and you weigh less. I counter that. Well, weighed the pool and you, and then when you get in the pool, it makes no difference because you're still in the pool water system.
Yeah. The force exerted on the on the bottom is directly proportional to my weight that I just added to it, which unfortunately is way too much at the moment. I need to go
No,
So if I had,
but if you walk from the side of the pool into the pool, the weight doesn't change.
so let's say that the one in the left, right? I mean, the blue or whatever, one of those, it weighs, I don't know, give me a weight, 3 pounds exactly, like sharp, no answers. And I put a string in the middle of this container, inside the container. I tape it. And then to the string, I tie a little helium balloon to it in the middle. So it's not floating above to the lid, it's inside the water, the helium balloon. Will it weigh differently? Will it weigh less because the helium balloon is there? Remember, this is a big container that weighs 300 pounds. I said 3 pounds. No, big container, 300 pounds. So we got a giant helium balloon, which is a lot of helium tied with a rope in the middle of the container in the bottom. And once you put the balloon, it should raise it up. Well, will it weigh more or less?
Right. So you've got an issue with that, and the fact that you wouldn't be able to weigh a helium balloon with standard kind of scales. You need some hellish kind of scales to do that. And because helium is actually, I would say, in order to do that, you would need. Oh, wait a minute. That's an interesting thought experiment. Wait a minute. Someone help me out with this.
Now, yeah, I'm thinking right now because let's say if I tie that rope to the scale, yeah, it will make an impact. But the balloon, the rope is tied inside the container, in the bottom of the container. The container is in top of the scale. The rope is in the container type, and then the balloon is in the middle of the water. So you got water above and below. What do you think? Will the weight change?
It'll weigh my gut, and someone correct me if I'm wrong. My gut says that. So first of all, there's a premise. The premise is the matter that was inside the container before putting the volume of helium contained within a balloon in hasn't changed in this exercise. Yeah. So it's not like you've taken the volume that the balloon would occupy and removed it and replaced it with helium. Otherwise, absolutely, it would weigh less. So we have to say, well, the helium balloon just burst into existence, which increased the pressure inside. Now, because of that pressure increase, I would speculate that the scales will read, if they were accurate enough, the weight of the helium increase. It would go to the top, absolutely, in the scales, but the force downward would increase. Would be my guess.
Yeah, I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking of it right now, and it should increase because let's say that the balloon weighed 2 ounces, whatever, and then no matter how much gas is inside, so it's gonna weigh the exact amount that it weighed before plus the 2 ounces of the balloon. It doesn't matter because the balloon is not against the top lid, so it's not pulling it up. It's tied with the rope, in the middle.
It could be the top lid. It wouldn't matter.
Really?
Yeah. Well, just think about it. Think about it this way. Think about this middle container with air in it. Yeah, oxygen. Let's say for some reason now I was able to keep the same mass of air in there, but then I also injected equal masses of argon, which would sit at the bottom, thus pushing the air up. The pressure that exists all around this now hasn't actually, because there's pressure at the top and the air's, pressing on the top, doesn't mean that it's going to weigh less. Otherwise, we'd all be flying around in lovely cars that, personal automobiles that they'd be awesome, basically. They'd just be awesome. And a really good, and by the way, I'm no good at science. I don't hate science, but A really good way to think about this is the following. You see this here?
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Balls. You see, this is actually a trigger because that's a blue marble in the middle of that. But anyway, so but if we look at this here, the fact that this is a metric, let's say this has a density of 1 and these have a density of 10,000. The fact that this is incredibly lighter than these balls and it's going to go, it's going to settle above these balls, doesn't make the whole thing lighter. It's still adding to it. You can't have a negative weight. All you can have is a buoyant force, but a buoyant force needs to kind of be freely applied. In a container, it doesn't matter, or it wouldn't matter in this sealed glass ball. So we'd do that. And the fact that this is a lot lighter than air, so this is a helium atom, and these are just oxygen atoms, let's say. The fact that this is lighter, its atomic mass is lighter, doesn't mean that this, adding more of these doesn't mean this is getting lighter. It just means that we're adding more, which will increase the pressure inside, and these will coalesce around the top. That's it. They've still got atomic mass. So,
Right. Now, let me ask, Brian Mavitt, are you able to speak? Because you're sharing the screen, and I guess it's related to what we're talking about. I'd like to see from his perspective what he has to say in relation to the scales and weight and helium and stuff. So if I share your screen, Brian Mavitt, you got to unmute yourself first. Do you guys hear the sounds of Florida?
Yeah, we got you.
Brian Mavitt, there's no sound in your end. Let me share him for the audience.
Oh, it's going to show us what buoyancy is with gravity. I love this. Brilliant.
Oh, cool.
Okay, no audio anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I'm unable to follow if you're not speaking, man. I'm looking, but I'm not gonna try to figure out what you're trying to do.
Look out. It's an egg.
Yeah, it's an egg. That's so nice. This scale, water, egg. I haven't seen a container of salt yet, but it should be there.
You got right.
Yeah, salt should be there somewhere.
This is an egg, yeah?
Hey, Brian, let's try now. Check.
I'm just having my dinner, mate. That's the problem.
Oh, shit, okay.
I'm just showing as you lower the egg into the water, its mass is taken up by the water. Its weight is taken up by the water. And when you see...
Yeah, it's called buoyancy.
It retains about 10 grams or so. I've lifted it right out there. When it goes right down to the bottom, it goes to zero, obviously, because there's no weight left on it. But what I mean to try and show is the water picks up the mass of the egg, even though the egg is in midstream. It's not touching the bottom of the glass. It's transferred its weight to the water because the water is trying to support the weight of the egg.
So you're trying to prove buoyancy and gravity at the same time, both?
No, it is all relevant to the medium that the object is in.
No, you can't say that when you disagree with my example, Brian.
Watch this next section. Put the water on there, zero the scales. Now I'm going to lower the egg into it. Watch the scale reading. Now the egg isn't touching the bottom.
Doesn't have to.
No, we call that buoyancy,
Yeah,
which
buoyancy.
is emergent with gravity, Brian.
It has taken on about 90% of the egg's weight. Doesn't take it all on because this is not salt water. This is just standard tap water.
We know that, Brian. This is
Brian.
You didn't know that.
This
Brian,
is
did you ever wonder?
I knew this in school.
One at a time.
Now, watch
if you look at
what
the
happens when
statistics
the egg goes right to the bottom. The scales will read the weight the egg is, which is 61, 62 grams.
going to ask you a question right now.
There, it's come to the bottom now. Look.
Do you want to hear feedback? Brian Mavitt, feedback. Stingray's trying to add up to the conversation and give you feedback and some to elaborate more.
You wanted narrated.
No, so Brian,
Yeah, but interactive.
we know
man.
what this is. It's
Now look, 58 grams.
But Brian, I'm going to ask you a question. If you go and have a look at what buoyancy is, which requires gravity, and have a look at that.
It
to look at a
doesn't
statistic.
require
Listen,
your
let me just
fucking
finish.
lunatic assumption of gravity.
Let me just finish. But I want you to go and have a look. I want you to go and have a look at a very important statistic that we have with all seagoing vessels. Shout out to Schrodinger's cat. It's called displacement. Now, if you go have a look at this statistic that we magically make up for every single vessel that floats on the oceans, and then just learn how we derive displacement, that would be cool, wouldn't it?
And he's now not listening to you.
Oh man,
That's so funny.
He's just demonstrated buoyancy, which only works because we have gravity.
Well, why did he deafen? Well, he's having his dinner.
Well, that he doesn't want to listen because he's not here to listen, remember? He's not here to listen.
He's having his dinner.
Mm. Oh, dear.
Oh, man. We share a few memes then.
But we don't know why the egg's doing that, apparently. Trying to remember what year of at school that we covered things like that was. Sure, it would have been middle school for me.
Oh, mate, that was too long ago. We wouldn't.
Yeah, I can't. I just can't. Yeah. Well, because I did primary, middle, and upper. So I sort of changed. I went to middle school from 9 to 13. So was it primary school? Oh, I can't. It's too long ago.
Well, there was a few links shared earlier about some kind of a rocket launch. I'm gonna take a quick look because I missed the whole thing. I got to scroll.
There was 3. There was 2 SpaceX's, and there was the ULA launched an Atlas V that had got some other satellite. There's lots more satellites up in orbit now over the last week or two.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
Let's see what we got in this one. So it's I don't know. Laptop is really slow, so it's acting up on like.
Well.
And the signal is good. The signal is. The internet is excellent. Let me try another link. All right, let's see what we got. The same link to see if it opens now. I'm gonna mute this. There you go. You should be able to see this. No, hold on. Now I'm pushing it, trying to full screen all this shit. Hold on. Let me go back a few seconds. We should be able to see it. Really cool. In a second. So what do we have here?
That was ULA using an Atlas V rocket to put. There we go. 2 satellites in space for the US Air Force.
This one rocket is got 2 satellites.
Yes, that's got 2 satellites. I think they're of a size. They're damn sight bigger than what SpaceX tends to launch. I mean, if you judge by the size of that payload shroud, they're probably quite a size, those 2 satellites.
Why is it going up so slow?
Rockets do that to begin with, because bear in mind that they're not getting a rolling start. And actually by now, that's going several hundred miles an hour. It's just that all you're seeing is clouds behind it, so you can't really tell. But yeah, all rockets go from a standing start, and the first few seconds they're actually going quite slowly.
Well, if you compare it to rockets back from old school, from the 80s and 90s, dude, they were going up fast when they took off.
It also
Now they're
depends
going
on the
very
size.
slow.
You watch a Saturn V, one of the Apollo rockets. You watch one of them take off, and to begin with, it's really not going very fast at all because there's a hell of a lot of weight it's got to get moving from zero. And yeah, it takes them a while to get up to speed. Oh, there we go. I got the boosters. But yeah, when you're filming it from the ground and it's up in the sky, because you haven't got anything behind it. Well, I think we're spoilt with SpaceX. SpaceX put a lot of cameras on their rockets. I think the other guys don't tend to bother so much. So once they go out,
this is not SpaceX.
No, this is, I'm afraid, CGI.
Well, but this is not from SpaceX.
No, this is ULA.
ULA. Well, so is it just a separate space agency? It's not NASA?
I believe. Oh God, I can't actually remember.
It's a commercial.
As far as I know,
I think yeah, they are commercial, aren't they?
They're a commercial launcher.
So as far as I know, there's NASA launching rockets. There's Elon Musk launching rockets. China does his thing, and who else?
Ariane Space.
So this is not NASA.
Oh, this is United Launch Alliance, the company that launched this. So that shows the bus at the front with the two satellites on board. And that's what that rocket was for, to put those two up.
Nice. All right. So that was one. There's another one. This is a SpaceX one.
Yes, this one was the most recent. This one was Friday or Saturday, something like that, I think. And then the two SpaceXs, the most recent SpaceX was another Starlink with God knows how many satellites on board.
Hang in there. It will be up in a second. It's just what it is.
Oh yes, Transport 3.
Dude, I don't have a lot open. I just got it.
Yeah, you'll need to scroll forward quite a bit.
Do you have a timestamp close? Like a
what did I put in Discord?
Like roughly lunchtime. Let me, I guess. Oh, it's up. Yeah, I can find it. Okay.
Go to about 13 or 14 minutes in.
And as a reminder, if
there you go. Yeah. We are in 13-minute mark.
No,
T minus 2 minutes.
Yeah, so you can zip forward a little bit if you want, unless you want to watch out for 1 minute and 50 seconds. Now this one had 105 commercial and government satellites on board. So this wasn't Starlink. This was just about everybody else. There were CubeSats, microsats, pocket cubes. There was all sorts of stuff on there.
You guys see this, right? Whoever is watching my screen share.
Yep, got it.
Yeah, it should be up on YouTube too. T minus 10, 9, slow seconds. 6, or am I impatient?
That's sort of seconds you get in a doctor's waiting room or the dentist or something.
And here we go!
Light blue touch paper and whoosh. Now, I think this one, the first stage, landed back at the Cape. It didn't go out to sea and land on a barge. Possibly, I think it was this one. I can't remember. I get confused. There's so many bloody launches. It's a job to keep up with them.
So you maybe told us, but you was just not paying attention. What was this about? This launch?
Right. This
First one
this
was two. The first one was two satellites from the other
yeah.
space
The
agency.
first
This
one
one
we
is
saw.
SpaceX.
Yeah, this SpaceX one. This was Transporter 3. So this is the third time they've done a launch like this. It had 105 commercial and government satellites on board. You guess that most of them are quite small. They're CubeSats,
Shoe
microsats.
boxes. All right, shoe
Yeah,
boxes.
so some of them might only be like a foot or two square. You know, a lot of satellites are putting up now for various things and tests. They're not very big at all because that means it's cheaper. Because obviously,
So,
the heavier something is, the more it costs to get it into space.
so is there like a when it's up ready to launch the satellite? Is it like a little window, like a goat's ass opening and pooping, like a rabbit ass pooping little balls, poop balls?
It
The
can be
satellite.
one. I mean, hopefully they'll show it in here somewhere. I didn't watch all of the launch, but
What? A
once
rabbit's asshole pooping?
no. Once
Oh,
the shroud comes off,
I got
you've
freaked
got
out
what they
already.
call the bus. It's like a frame that carries everything, and at certain times, it'll damn near spit these satellites off. It'll just release them. Depends on what orbit you want to put them at and all the rest of it. But yeah, once the shroud comes off, you can see them all just sort of sitting there waiting to come off the framework that carries them, the bus as they call it.
Mm. If you crop this video to this part only, you can tell that this is a flat Earth star, psychedelic flat Earth star.
Watching that rocket plume shows you that the air pressure it's flying through is getting lower and lower and lower because as the pressure gets lower, the exhaust
It's different. Yeah, this is shape
it
is
spreads
different.
out. Look, you can
Expanding.
see it's spreading out already. It really is spreading out quite far.
Thinning out and spreading and thinning.
Yes. We'll get stage separation in a minute. Yep. So that's Miko. Main engine cut off. You'll get stage separation.
What cameras they got zooming in on this, man?
They've got some very, very, very powerful zoom lenses.
Yeah, man.
There we go. So stage is gone, and the next stage.
What's going on here? Is this the one in the left? Is that the one that is going to land back down?
Yes.
And this one continuously is the one dropping the
correct
satellite.
So we've
and
seen
what happened with the body that is going to launch the satellites? Will it keep floating around or will it drop back down?
No. Eventually, once it's done with, what they usually do is bring them back down. And then the idea is they burn up in the atmosphere, so you don't have bits of rocket landing on people's heads. And if they don't entirely burn up, then they bring them down in an area of the ocean, like middle of nowhere in the Pacific, where again, hopefully they won't come down and hit anyone. The entire area off the eastern seaboard of the States there, in your neck of the woods in Florida, where they launch most of the rockets from, the seabed is littered with bits of rocket.
Stingray, if you're here now, this left-hand side, nothing looks wrong to me, but this one in the right, this edge right here, it looks off to me. It looks like green screen to me. This in the right square with this big copper color thing. It looks like the edge look like overposed there.
That's the heat of the exhaust plume, isn't it?
Definitely agree with you, Jose. Total green screen trickery.
I'm not saying it is. I say it does look like.
No. I mean, my first thought was ridiculous. It was motion-based macro block decompression artifacts because of the optimized stream and the motion and color difference there. But obviously, that's ridiculous.
Obviously.
It's all faked.
That's too advanced for me. Too many big words for me. I just call it green screen or CGI, man.
I believe we're going to see the shroud. There goes the shroud. So now you can see some of the 105 satellites that are on board there waiting to be released and put into orbit.
But what happened with the poor mouse? Sean is asking because there was a mouse area of this.
There he is. There's the mouse.
Mm.
So yeah, that was another successful launch.
Jomongus say, I like Jomongus say, I like how Jose asked Stingray a question and Farmers answered.
Yes.
Shout out to Jomongus.
Yeah, I do it for you, Jumungus. You know that.
Man. So the one in the left is gonna land back down.
Correct. The one on the left is the first stage, and that's the one that comes back down and lands. And this time it came back down to Cape Canaveral and landed on the pad. It's getting there. It's. I mean, you can fast forward through it a bit if you want. It's going to take it a little while because it's still rather high up.
Gadget Inspector say, can't believe you guys think this bullshit is real.
You can go to the Cape and watch them launch.
I'm gonna go forward. I want to see the. Now I'm gonna make a prediction.
Mm-hmm.
That when it's time for this one in the left hand side to land, is gonna go to a cut screen of lost signal. I'm gonna make that prediction now.
I don't think so. I can't remember. But anyway, it's not landing on a barge. It's going back down to the Cape, so it's landing on terra firma.
What you over or under 50%? That is gonna cut the signal. I go over 90%. I go 100%. That is gonna cut to a cut screen.
I don't know much cutting signal. I think they'll just change cameras. I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember what they actually show.
So what you go, over or 50? Over or under?
Under. I don't think it won't be loss of signal.
I mean, cut the signal that is gonna.
Oh, there you go.
It's not gonna be shown live. All right, let's see.
No, I think they will.
It's not gonna be shown in real time. I don't know. Let's see. It's getting there. Gadget Inspector, if you don't believe that this bullshit is real, do you believe that this rocket launched to space and then now it's coming to land back down? Look at that, the one in the left. Gadgets. I don't have to disbelieve this because people have recorded this. People like you or me have recorded this. A rocket taking off and then landing back down. So I don't see why to deny something that is real. What do you guys think, that they have to deny something that is actually real? Because rockets launch, rockets go up really high up, and rockets land back down like this one.
As I've said before, space has to be fake. If the Earth is flat, space has to be fake. Because the minute it's not fake, then sorry, the Earth ain't flat, because we're sending stuff up there that's filming it and photographing it, and you're getting signals from satellites. And I think they might show both views at once.
Okay, here we go.
That's coming down at a fair old rate.
It looks cool. The one in the right hand side looks cool.
It's like something out of Thunderbirds, isn't it? When they did that heavy lift with the two boosters landing side by side.
Nothing in the right hand side. Yeah, that was a. Okay. Let's see now.
And just when you think it's going to go smack, the legs come out and bosh.
So it was a delay on the two cameras, right? Between the two cameras.
You notice the camera on the left.
The smoke, and then now the smoke. Okay. The smoke there, and then the smoke here.
Now, look how filthy that booster is. I think that was its 10th use. They start out white. Because you can see where the legs fold up. Underneath where the legs fold up, it's nice and white. Everything else is covered in soot. They get absolutely filthy.
Actually, Gadget Inspector, I disagree with you in there. They say, it launched, but the landing is CGI. People have recorded the landing.
Yeah.
People have recorded the landing. I've seen it. I've seen videos of amateurs, of people with cheapest cameras, with phone cameras, record the landing.
Of course, people like Astronomy Live and Reds went there and filmed all these. They filmed the first SpaceX Heavy, where the two boosters come and landed back down next to each other at the same time. And there was thousands of people there to watch it and film it.
Right.
There's actually one of the things that fascinates me about rocket launchers from Florida and Cape Canaveral, is it's very often that a commercial airliner will be flying past at 30,000 feet.
I'll
And
mute this
it's
in a
very-
second, bro.
And it's very often that people will film that rocket launch out of the window. And it looks stunning flying over in a jetliner.
It's that classic film from years ago where somebody there was an airliner flying past, and they captured the shuttle launching through the clouds. And that's an absolutely amazing bit of film because he sort of said, "Oh, if you look out the right hand side, you'll see the space shuttle coming up." And yeah, it punched up through the clouds, and somebody filmed it from on board the airliner, which was just imagine that.
There is a third one right here. The Falcon 9 flight computers have taken control of the countdown. So what is this? A Starlink mission. What is this one about? We got 15 seconds to launch. You got to give us what it is in 15 seconds or less.
This was the Starlink launch that happened last Tuesday. So this is another, God knows how many satellites on board.
Nighttime is harder to see when it's up in the sky. Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Liftoff. I mean, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, getting there.
6 seconds ago was liftoff. Now it's lifting up.
Yeah, I think at countdown 0, the engine's actually light, and then it takes a few seconds to build up thrust and get off the pad.
They
This
do
is
it
just a
different from
big-
NASA. In a NASA countdown, when you get to 0, that's when it lifts off. But SpaceX that's when they light the engines.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because it always takes rockets a few seconds to sort of get going and get full thrust and then heave its weight off the ground.
So what is this one going to launch a shitload of satellites too?
Yeah, this is another Starlink mission. I'm not entirely sure how many satellites are on board this, but they usually getting sort of in the region of 40 or 50 satellites.
So this just last week with these 3 launches, the one that launched two satellites, that wasn't bad, but then the previous one launched a shitload of them, and this one is, why are they throwing so much garbage on the sky?
Well, they're trying to offer a service, aren't they? They're trying to offer an internet service with good coverage. So,
How much will one satellite of this cost? $1,000, $2,000, $20,000? Just one little shoebox sized satellite. Costs a lot, right? Maybe $50,000, $100,000 for one. And then you accumulating, it's going to be, let's say, a few $1 million plus the millions extra on the rocket launch, right?
yeah, I'm not sure how much each satellite costs.
Let's just give it a number. One shoebox satellite, $100,000. That's fair, right? Maybe cheap.
No, a lot more expensive than that.
A lot more, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I reckon one of the cheapest satellites you could launch is probably going to be about $250,000.
Woo wee!
Well, $250,000, sorry. But I think some of the like the Starlink data satellites, if they were manufactured out of house and they were just like not purchased off the shelf, but I think they cost about $1.2 to $1.3 million each, and that takes
crazy?
up like a lot of them at once.
Isn't that crazy? Like just this launch is going to launch, let's say, 40 satellites. These 40 satellites, each on one, let's say, is $250,000. So it's millions of dollars. Instead of launching this rocket and these satellites, wouldn't that money be focused into, I don't know, some Africa community and make them all nice housing and a good water system for them to drink clear water, at least, and build a school or two with nice, computers? That'll be cool.
Yeah, the estimations I'm seeing at the moment are somewhere between $250,000 and $500,000 each. Obviously, the more they make the more they put up there, the cheaper the unit cost is. But
you imagine just getting one community at a time, one I don't know 100 square miles area, and build something cool over there. Build a school, build a nice little recreational area and good water system for people to drink clear water in. Dude, I mean there were 3 launches this past week. That would be 300 square miles or more on a place where it's like very poor quality of life. Now, if you add that up per week, they do one launch. Maybe per month they do one launch. That for years and years, bro, the world will be all rich if that
But
would happen.
the issue with that, Jose, is when do you stop and where is the division line?
Mm.
So there's 2 ways to look at that. One is, well, I was born and I have to work and I have to earn my water and I have to earn my house. Why does someone else just get a house by nature of not working and not getting that? Yeah, it might be a terrible situation. And then the other thing is, we can build that, but why can't we do that to our homeless here in the UK and in the United States? Why can't we just house everybody? And the ultimate issue is when you start doing that, you can't do that in a capitalist society because you just start building an amount of individuals that don't do anything. It becomes okay then for individuals not to do anything because their needs are taken care of. And then you have disparity between the individuals that do something and go out and work and build and those that don't, that still get the same things. You'd have to abolish money. And you'd have to abolish, I mean, we're going to get there. We are going to get there, but it's just not even at the moment.
I disagree, but I mean, I don't have any money to help anybody anyway. So
Well, those people in Africa would live happily with what they have if they only could. But corruptions, fanatics, all those make it impossible. It's not because we don't have enough money for them.
clear water, big drilling machines, so they can build a good well with good filtering system. That's all is needed for a lot of these people to live better. That's all they need.
I think they have that. They don't have water problem there.
They do. Dude, you're not keeping up to date. Everybody, dude, they're drinking mud water. People in freaking India, next to the big ass capital where they're multimillionaires, people in Indian communities, they're drinking fucking mud water. So when they are giving bottles of water, the bottles of water that we buy here a bunch for $2 or $3. They go like, wow, never in my life I seen a bottle of water. A grown old man say I never seen this clear water. They tasted it, say it's just refreshing. It's just I never seen this water before. They live all their life drinking mud water, drinking water from a fucking bottle. Not because they want to, but because they don't have machinery. They don't got equipment to dig better and do good clearing and filtering system.
Come on, we were digging wells since I don't know when, and we didn't have no drills, no nothing.
Yeah, but don't say that everybody have
Those
clear water
famous-
because they don't.
The famous well of Aristotle, they did dig it with drill. They found water there, no problem.
Yeah, don't pick on the word drill. They just need machinery and better tools to get a better setting so they can
Yeah,
have more clear water.
shovel.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So they never thought about a shovel, right? They never
No,
thought about
come
that.
on,
These
they
people that
do.
are these old people that never in their life they see in clear water. They never thought about that, right, Jake? Don't you think they need better equipment so they can have more clear water? Because or do you think they're so dumb that they never grab a shovel and try to filter their own water?
Well, I don't know what people you're talking about.
People in the world, you don't are you aware that there's people in the world that never seen clear water in their life?
Mm, Maybe in some places.
If you don't want, exactly, some places. If you don't want to believe me, that's up to you. You don't have to believe me. Don't take my word for it. If you're interested, look for people that never drink, never seen clear water in their life, never seen water without mud and drink it. Just look it up if you're interested. But I'm not going to show you that. It's all over the place. Now, if you don't have eyes to see, it's up to you.
Jose, although I agree with you, there's one big problem to attempt to solve all this anyway. And it's the same problem when I say, in the world, who was the biggest slave pushers in the world? The biggest slave pushers in the world were African warlords. That's it.
Yeah.
And corruption. I mean, in all honesty, I know that our government subsidies in the UK, where we well, let's call them public bribes, named something different. We give foreign aid to Africa. Now we've stripped, and when I say we, I'm on about, you know, the United Kingdom, the British fucking Empire. We've stripped Africa of resources, of natural resources, of farming land, so much so. But well, not me, but you know, my country, and it's able to do that because of the corruption that exists in, I'm going to say man, but you know, human beings. In order to fix very fundamental things, you have to first stop people being able to take advantage. So even though, let's say, my government, you know, we have foreign aid drives whereby the general public is asked to donate to a cause, and everybody donates. It might reach tens of millions of pounds, and it gets sent over there by our government. Our government send it over there, and it goes to organisations that now we rely on the human nature of those for that money to do good, because there's such a thing as a country, a boundary, a way of doing things, and authorities. And it's never going to get any better. You're always going to reach, corruption is always going to thrive where it can because of human nature. But
Good. That's good. In this landing didn't break up either. It was a little bit of a laggy, a little bit raggedy, but yeah, it didn't go to a cut screen. That was good.
That's it. That was a good landing from both points of view.
That's clearly CGI on the screen right now.
Yes.
The world doesn't have
That's
lines on it. That's how I know.
Oh yes, that's the Starlink satellites. Are waiting to be poofed out.
Good times, good times. Hey, we had a big audience. I just clicked on it a few minutes ago, and we had 50 plus people. 50 people now, but there was 50 plus people watching. Fucking
That's
amen. It's good, really good.
Yeah.
I insist. I said, like, yeah, this is a small channel for a big audience. I appreciate that.
So there you go. I think you're now up to date with
the latest 3 rocket launches that I thank you for, and thanks the audience for bringing it to my attention. I don't follow of this stuff, none of this stuff, pretty much. I find out here via this show that there have been rocket launches and stuff like that happening.
Oh, colon behave. Yes, of course they painted the first stage as it was coming back down. They painted it black.
Yep.
And just for another quick update, the James Webb Space Telescope has nearly reached its point of orbit. It's 77 miles and ticking down. In fact, it will reach its orbital point well before we're finished here today.
Really?
Yep.
How far is it from the Earth?
It is 907,455.3456789 456 miles.
No, 456 miles away.
907,457
900. Okay.
Because
over 900. Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah, over 900,000 miles. It's 72.5 miles off.
Is it going to reach 1 million miles? No?
Not quite. It's going to be close, but no, not quite.
Mm. Good.
Yeah, so it's 99.992% distance completed.
All right. We are back. Brian Mabbett, you want to take over again? If you want to screen share, let me know. I'll present you for YouTube. You got an open mic there.
My mic's open.
Yeah. I mean, you were not speaking, but I see your mic open, so you're ready to play. You come in to play. Let's do it.
Oh, dear. It's so painful, man. It really is so painful to listen to you.
What
You
was
poor
painful
old
about
boy.
to look at there was 3 big events, Brian Mabbett. 2 SpaceX and one of whatever other space agency. They launched some rockets with satellites to make us a better life for communications and all the good stuff. What do you think about that? That's a
What
lot
are
of
they?
money there.
Size of a shoebox?
A lot of
What?
money there, man.
Are they the size of a shoebox? Did I hear you say?
Some of them. I made that analogy up, but yeah, they're pretty much maybe a little bigger, but let's say shoebox size.
How high are they? What orbit?
Hundreds of miles away from the Earth. Hundreds of miles away.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
And what are they for? What are they relaying or
They are
transmitting? Or?
they're mostly for communication and bouncing signals among each other to make it better, stronger. For us to have a better everything.
Yeah, just so you know, Brian, we can actually use them now. I was thinking of installing one at the office, and I know people that are using it, and that's the Starlink internet service. So basically, it's for you get a dish, you point it up there, and you're able to receive satellite internet that's incredibly quick. It's very good for what it is compared to what we used to have satellite-wise. Very, very good, but not fiber good.
Do these suffer from the same as the ISS? It falls back towards Earth.
You'll have to boost, yeah. Every now and
Yeah,
then.
they have thrusters on them.
So these little shoe boxes.
They're-
Hold on, I've got to get my fucking head around it.
They
These
are a little bit
shoeboxes
bigger than a shoebox, yes.
Have got thrusters on them.
Yeah, and those are not rocket thrusters, those ionic thrusters, but yes, Brian.
They're
do.
what? What type of thruster?
Ion thrusters.
So it's got iron in it.
Ion.
Ion. Right. So this shoebox that contains a receiver transmitter to send a signal hundreds of miles back down to a rotating Earth at over 1,000 miles an hour.
Here we go.
And it has thrusters in there to boost them back up.
Brian,
you said it.
You missed an amazing step as well. It even gets more fantastical because the fact that we're rotating at 1 revolution per day isn't even funny. The fact that those satellites are orbiting at the speed that they do, and the data transit is via a very, very intense mesh redistribution. In other words, the satellite that was above you 10 minutes ago is not the same one that you're using now, much like GPS. That's how it works. It is wicked.
Where are you going to point your fucking dish?
It's like cell towers.
If you're thrashing underneath it,
listen, it's like cell towers, Brian.
And if you think, hold on, Choi, if you think you can point a dish at a box hundreds of fucking miles away and receive a signal from it,
can't be.
You are deluded. Absolutely fucking deluded.
I've got a question for you, Brian.
There is no way they could produce enough wattage. Shut up.
Brian,
Listen,
I've got a question for you.
There is no way.
Let Brian finish the rant. Let Brian finish the rant.
There is no way they could produce enough wattage to send a fucking signal hundreds of miles. It is ridiculous.
Okay, so I've got a quick question for you. What wattage would that be?
I don't know, but it's certainly
Mike, shut the fuck up then. You're just talking out your ass. Come back
It's
with
not
a
going
power
to
figure
be
and I'll give a shit about your opinion. Make it up out of thin fucking air with no experience. Fuck off with your opinion.
It is not going to be enough fucking wattage that you can build an amplifier that fits in a fucking shoebox and the fucking thrusters and the receiver and the transmitter. It is fucking lunacy.
You come back and tell me all the attenuation ranges and the power output, and I'll listen to you. Until that, you're a rambling fucktard.
You know what's lunacy, Brian? Brian, lunacy
You are
is you can put
I'm telling
then
you.
you can put a battery, motors, GPS, receiver, all in that little small drone of yours. That's ludicrous. It's impossible. How could you ever do it, Brian?
I can't go fucking 200 miles away from me with it, you lunatic.
No, but how did you put all this in your little drone? You know that small one.
What? And we will get about 4 kilometers.
Brian, why is it so far-fetched?
It is fucking ridiculous. Anybody who knows anything about RF would say exactly the same. You
Do you own a cell phone, Brian?
Enough wattage to fucking send
Listen, Bryce. We communicate.
Brian, do you own a cell phone?
Ridiculous. And I tell you the truth, this is what makes me fucking wonder about you lot.
Brian, do you own a cell phone?
My cell phone logs into cells that are hundreds of yards apart.
What's the wattage, Brian?
200 bastard miles.
Brian, hold on. How is it that little
ridiculous?
How is it that little rectangular thing you hold in your hand can have the entirety of mankind's knowledge at your fingertips? How is that?
Man, it's because they launch cubes of 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters. How about that? How about that size?
Absolutely fucking ridiculous.
So really quickly, Brian, I want your take on something.
This is what really fucking programming of your brains is really fucking good, man.
But there are about 5 centimeters around. You know.
Can I just ask Brian a question, just really quickly, because you can do this, Brian. You can actually test this. So one of the issues that I had is I wrote logistics software for HGV vehicles here in the UK and in Canada and in Australia. And it's very important that I write predictive software for GPS and tracking. Now, one of the things that I used to do is I used to inhibit the GPS via building a cage around it and making sure that I could get decent not a large number of satellites. Now, you can actually go out and you can block your phone from satellite. You can block it with anything. You can block it with tinfoil. And then, but you could open up a cylinder so that the phone can only receive a signal from directly up. And you can see satellites passing over you. Why do you think that is?
Show me that being done. Other than that, it's just a load of bollocks.
Brian.
Show me it being done. I didn't make the claim. Stingray, you've just made a claim. Show it being done, please.
Why do you think it wouldn't work, Brian?
Show it.
Right. Wait a minute. Very easy. I mean, this is very easy for you to figure out as well, Brian. Just go have a look. Do a search on YouTube right now. Just wait a minute. Do a search on YouTube right now. GPS signals in canyon. Yeah, you'll see that people can receive GPS signals in a canyon. They can't get a phone signal because the canyon's blocking it or the valley's blocking it, but they can get GPS. And you can have a GPS tracking app on your phone that shows you where they are and how fast they're going, and they're damn quick.
And it's kind of the same way how when we were deployed, we could see where our vehicles were in Afghanistan when they were in canyons and valleys. They're kind of the same thing.
Can't show me being done, can you?
Yes, we can.
Absolute nonsense.
How is that, Brian? How can we get GPS signal in a valley?
You are lying to everybody that is watching. You are lying to humanity. You are lying to your family. You are lying to your children. And you will be lying to your
grandchildren.
Brian, how can we receive GPS in a valley where there's no towers around, in another country where we haven't put any towers up? How is that? Answer that question.
You should be fucking ashamed of yourselves.
You want to answer that question, man?
No,
At least a
I have another question, Brian.
Everything that is needed to transmit a signal hundreds of fucking miles. You are fucking deluded.
Brian, suppose I did go through the trouble and showed you I put the cell phone inside a can or something that will block the signal except from one direction, and I did show you I can get only one satellite. What would you say then? Would it change anything, or would you come back tomorrow and say I'm lunatic?
Show it me, then I'll decide.
No. I'm not going to show you something you don't decide in advance. You can't tell me, okay, you showed me and I don't accept it, and I keep calling you a liar and ludicrous and whatever names you call me again, just for you not to accept it. I need to know you accept it.
Brian, look, there's an image. There's an image of one of the satellites on the Daily Boom uncensored. Now we got an image to go with.
Ridiculous.
How about that?
Absolutely ridiculous.
Look like a Rubik's Cube.
To think that you grown men can think that that can send a signal over 200 fucking miles is lunacy.
Right. We still
higher than dude, hundreds and hundreds of miles.
It's beyond ridiculous.
Brian, we're still communicating with a 20-watt transmitter from 22 light hours away.
That can send a signal over 200 fucking miles.
Not 200.
Who's got
billions of miles?
Somebody's got their audio off the YouTube.
Brian, something that you've got to figure out is, can I send a radio signal through water?
I never heard you cut out.
Sorry, can I send a radio signal through water easily compared to air?
See, about 30 or 40 megs, I think.
Right. So the issue is, the denser, the worse degradation the signal's going to get over distance. Correct? If the medium is dense. Now, imagine this. Just for 1 second, imagine this. Imagine we only needed to get out of the atmosphere before we hit space where there's nothing. And imagine how far that wave could travel. Amazing, huh?
Fucking lunatics. You've got to be fucking bordering on the side of fucking insane. If you
don't even sit down, Brian. You don't even like try, dude.
2 inches fucking square, 200 miles away, and get it to repeat your signal. It is fucking lunacy.
Brian.
1 millionth of a degree off, you will miss it by 500 miles. It is fucking lunacy.
Brian, what advanced education allows you to make that
I got a
claim?
question. How many miles up are these?
Complete and utter fucking nonsense.
Brian.
You're living in the Thunderbirds world. It is nonsense.
How many miles away are these satellites?
They said they were 200 miles away.
How far away are you and I?
And somehow they've got fucking boosters in there that fucking push them back up into orbit. Oh my
God. Brian,
God.
you even tried. It's all you hear. All I hear from you is denial.
It's
like, we don't even.
It is fucking common sense, and this is what they've done.
Possible. Do you think, Brian? Do you think this technology will be possible though?
And installed this fantasy into your mind,
Brian. Do you think this technology will be possible though?
No,
Why not?
definitely fucking not.
Why not?
In a fucking box, 2 inches. The battery would be bigger than the fucking box. It's fucking lunacy.
So
And you've got to have
in the
a
daily
battery
boom, I
for
put
your tiny little fucking charging panels to charge the battery.
okay.
It's fucking lunacy, man. And you
All right.
fall for it,
All right,
Brian,
Brian.
because
Are you done?
it's lunacy. I'm sorry.
All right. So in the Daily Boom, I put a link in there to a wiki page for the dagger, the thing that we use, but we call it a dagger, but it's a PNS 13 Defense Advanced GPS Receiver. Right. So we carry these things when we're deployed, and it doesn't have it's not a cellular phone. It doesn't have there's no cell towers around. It is strictly a GPS receiver. That's it.
What are you telling me?
We carry it in valleys. We carry it wherever we go when we're deployed, so that we know exactly our position on Earth, and we can relay that position back to our home base.
Do NASA
using those grid coordinates?
Do NASA launch balloons?
Sure.
Could those balloons be sending your signals?
No, because balloons wouldn't be able to stay in one position for that long.
They can steer them.
They'd have to, Brian, it would have to be directly over top of the position where I'm at if I'm in a valley in Afghanistan.
They can steer them.
No.
Yes, they can.
So
Yes,
how long would that? How long would that?
Why can't they have them? Listen, take this as a fucking thought process. Then why can't they have them like cell towers, just all following each other round in the upper atmosphere, and your GPS just flicks from one to the other?
Where are they, Brian?
How come we can't
Wait a minute,
these
Brian.
balloons?
Brian.
Wouldn't it be
Brian, there's
big balloons?
three satellite networks that you want to look at. One is GPS. It's actually a network. The other is Galileo, and the other is GLONASS. They are all orbital satellite networks. In other words, they're orbiting the Earth very fast. GPS network satellites, all of them moving between 3.7 and 3.9 kilometers per second. Now, you can track these. You can point at a radio dish, get the frequency, track it through the damn sky. Exactly where they say it is. If it wasn't where it said it was, no positioning would ever work here on Earth. Done. 3.9 kilometers. Let's call it 4 kilometers a second.
Say, how fast is that?
Not very fast compared to the ISS.
How fast in miles an hour is 3.9 kilometers per second?
Brian, are there
Less
any
than
balloons that
7.5.
are there any balloons that are unaffected by wind?
Miles per hour.
8,724 miles per hour.
Brian, are there any balloons that are unaffected by wind?
See what they've done to you? They've pickled your fucking brains. And it does.
Brian, can you validate your expertise to make these claims?
Brian goes to this part of the script when he can't sort of offer anything up or answer your particular question. It goes to "You've been brainwashed." Can't you see that?
Exactly.
Will somebody think of the children?
Brian, confirm your expertise that allows you to make these claims.
Right.
Common sense. That's all.
Yeah, okay. You have no expertise. So you're just talking out of your ass because you don't understand it. It doesn't work.
So you're just under the impression that humanity has no ability to create things like this. Is that what you think, Brian?
Are you?
Brian can't, so nobody can.
Accepting that a 2-inch square box can have everything in it as a relay station and have fucking thrusters in it?
No, that's not it.
Why not? My cell phone has more than that. My cell phone has more power than that.
I want to
Look at the power of your cell phone, you moron.
I want to comment on Brian's Mabet's common sense. we got different. I mean, that's kind of a personal, belief where your common sense is at. For some people, common sense is to make all the money in the world. It doesn't matter how many people starve around you. For other people, common sense is if you have a lot, you share with others. So it depends on what you call common sense, how you are raised, what your beliefs are. So common sense doesn't apply to everybody, Brian. Everybody have a different type of approach on what common sense is.
Well, when Brian uses common sense, he gets change back.
And Brian's common sense tells him that humanity is unable to create technology like this, apparently.
Yes, because if Brian can't do it, nobody can.
It is fucking sad.
And can I just point out that a Starlink satellite is not the size of a shoebox. It weighs 1/4 of a ton. The real trick with them is that they pack really flat, so they can get so many in each launch. They are designed flat, and then their solar panel comes out like one wing.
But there are small ones like 5 centimeters by 5 by 5 centimeters.
There are tiny little CubeSats, yes, but they're not the same thing as Starlink. They're not sort of internet providing satellites. But yeah, there are. That's why they call them CubeSats. I mean, some of them are very very small, and you can bet your boots that they're not designed to last very long. They've got one thing to do and they do it. Whatever it may be.
I'd be interested to know if Brian could figure out on a flat Earth, like on this beautiful flat Earth that we're on, how we would work out where we are on digital devices to, let's say, the meter. How would we do that, Brian?
By fixed, rigid cell towers.
Wicked. So these cell towers send out electromagnetic wave with a signature on that wave that does what? Is it just strength that tells us? Yeah.
It does what?
So okay. Let's say I've got one of these antennas. Is that all I need? Just one?
What antennas?
I thought you said fixed aerials or something.
Fixed antennas are fixed to the ground that you are walking upon.
Right. Right. So how does that tell me where I am? Do they just shout really loud?
Triangulation.
Right. Triangulation. So I need how many?
3.
Right. So all I would need is 3. And how? Just really quickly, in the flat Earth world, how would I work out where I am? I've got 3 towers now. I've got a digital device. That doesn't tell me where I am. That's just 3 towers and a digital device.
You don't. Your phone does the calculation, or your GPS.
What calculation does it do? Brilliant. So I have to get my phone to do calculation.
The tower your phone or your GPS logs into is a known location.
Right. Okay. So the tower is in a known location. So how does my phone work out where I am?
By working out from at least three different points and triangulating them 3 different points. Ever so simple.
What point is?
How do I know what?
Now, how does a phone, when you say work out 3 different points, elaborate what you mean, because a point is just, a point. I don't know what you mean. How does it work out of 3 different points?
This is fucking old hat, man. We all know how this works.
What data you
know
need?
how a tower system works.
What
get
data you need?
One tower to the next.
Wait a minute. So you can say you don't know, Brian. It's very okay for you to say I don't know.
It is fucking schoolboy stuff.
Oh, so tell me what? So how do I work out? I've got 3 points. What do you mean by 3 points? Go for it.
We fly out of a field that is perfectly fucking clear above it, yet we cannot get GPS until we go above the tree line. Why would that be if the satellites are in the sky?
No, I'm talking about a flat Earth and we've got 3 antennas. How do I work out where I am?
Oh, fuck off. You're an asshole.
Okay, good, Brian. Love you.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole. You know how it fucking works. You're just proving yourself to be a complete fucking arsehole.
Yes. No, I actually agree with that last point, Brian, and I agree with the point before it. I do know how they work, and I was being an asshole with you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you're honest about something.
Oh. Implying that he lies.
You are living a fantasy, and they are just keep bolstering it up with all this bullshit they're pointing at you. It is nonsense. You could not try and send a signal to a 2-inch box 200 fucking miles away when the very surface you are on allegedly is rotating at 15 degrees an hour.
Oh dear.
Or what some people will call 1,037 miles an hour of surface speed. It would be impossible.
Well, doesn't the signal go out in that cone shape?
Ridiculous.
Personal incredulity and ignorance for the win.
Let alone it sending a signal back.
I mean, sending a
the signal will go out, and it
Impossible
depends
based
on
what?
it depends on the type of aerial used, depends on the shape of the signal spread. Because you can actually send a signal pretty flat, you can send it in a cone shape, and you can do pretty much 360-degree broadcast. Old RKO thing.
I do really. It's getting to the point where, you know, it does give me a lump in my throat to listen to clever, intelligent fucking men saying this nonsense.
No, it's
Hold on, guys. Let him
Sorry, but it does.
I just want to, Brian, so do you hear with your throat? Because when you hear things like this, it gives you a lump in the throat. So does your system like anatomically works differently? Do you listen through your mouth and it just get, like processed through your throat? It gives you a lump sometimes? Just asking.
See what I mean? See what it's done to him?
Well, let's put it this way, Brian. Let me put an idea quickly by you. Yeah, you're right. There are some pretty smart people in here. And some of them know some things about some stuff. Some of them know some things about other stuff.
Yeah, I know about everything. Just saying. I know about everything, and I'm the smartest
genius.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wish I was right, more than I'm wrong. That's my goal in life. But we're all disagreeing with your point of view of the Earth. I mean, again, listening to your explanation of GPS, it kind of says, yeah, you kind of got a rudimentary idea, but you're actually missing out all the main things that Stingray was looking for. And your claim that it has to be ground-based towers, that's pretty ridiculous. Yeah. Because aerials are directional. You can make an aerial that will only pick up directional. All I need to do is put a GPS system in a bit of tin foil with only the sky open to it, because it will block all the other signals. And that test alone shows you wrong.
Go on, then do it and show me. Go on. There's a challenge for you. Do it. Sorry?
No, Brian. I mean, if you want to test it,
I've tested it.
Fine.
I know I do not get any GPS until I go a tree line in the field.
You've tested it?
And that is because the cell towers are beyond them trees.
How did you test it?
So I know what it is. I know how.
Just really quick, Brian, this is something I know quite a lot about. What you're actually, and you're not wrong in what you just said. So I'm actually going to, before you jump on me, be careful because I'm going to back you up on this one. So unfortunately, the GPS receiving chip inside your phone, probably a surf chip, can take quite a while to A, warm, and B, laterate your exact location. So inbuilt into your phone are other sensors. Now, so what you have on your mobile devices, you have something called fused combined location service. Only the last and most accurate part of that is the global positioning satellites. What you have before that is you can have cell tower triangulation, Bluetooth beacon triangulation, and you can also have Wi-Fi strength geocoded triangulation. And all of those are called fuse location services, which means some of those won't work because they're land-based. But unfortunately, you'd have to wait minutes for it to get enough satellite locks where you are. But if you've got a clear view of the sky, just stay there for 5 minutes and it will show you exactly where you are.
That's why Google in major cities gives quite a good accuracy on your northwest, east, south kind of location, but it says it's plus or minus 15 meters for height.
Yeah. Well, do what I did. I showed you the example. I put my phone completely into airplane mode, turned off internet access, everything, and then waited for my GPS, and it was getting a signal from 12 satellites.
So
and that figure changes.
I'm gonna do a quick recap. What have we learned today? That we learned about gravity and buoyancy.
Oh yes.
We learned about satellites, rocket launches. They drop satellites hundreds of miles away from the Earth, help us to evolve the technology and get better everything. And Brian is here learning about all these shenanigans that humanity is doing to make us a better life. Brian, what's up, man?
Oh dear. Fucking ludicrous, isn't it? Lunacy. Really?
Satellites as small as 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters are launched hundreds of miles away from the Earth, and those will be a link of this giant network of satellites and technology just hovering above us to give us this beauty, and thanks to that is what we're participating via these discussions around the world today.
You think? Not the undersea cables, no. They don't do fuck all.
Right.
Sad. It really is fucking.
Do you want to undersea?
Brian, I posted a picture in the Daily Boom, uncensored. What is that satellite dish pointing at?
I don't know, mate.
Quickly, I want to say Earth is Live. It's very hard to me to share screen recordings and video clips. It's easy for me to share pictures, GIFs, and YouTube videos, but screen recording, separate videos, almost impossible for me to share. So I'm sorry, that's why I don't share some of those.
Brian, have you ever considered getting Sky TV?
No.
Do you know anybody that's got Sky TV?
Yes.
Have a look at which way that dish is pointed, because it ain't at a balloon, it's up at the sky, and the Astra 1 sat that it will actually be pointed. Unlike the GPS network, which is rocketing round the Earth a lot faster than the spin of the Earth, the Astra 1 sat is geostationary, so it stays in the same location.
L1.
And that's it.
It's about 30,000 kilometers away.
All right, I got Earth is Live screen share. He just posted Earth is Live. His microphone is really low, so let's give him a chance to say something here. Go ahead, man.
If you can't hear me, I really don't have anything to say. I just wanted to show that it's got all the got an app called SatFinder, and these are all the satellites that are.
Hey, microphone is really bad, bro.
I think I can interpretate for you. You've collected those are the string of satellites above you for GPS.
Yeah.
Well, that's better. You know.
Yeah, that's all. I just wanted to share that real quick. I mean, it's that simple, Brian.
We never heard you. That's how simple it was.
What I said was I have an app called SatFinder, and it shows me exactly which satellites are above me right now.
Yeah, and that can't be fucking faked, you don't think?
No, I don't think so. Because
No.
I mean, a lot a lot of people rely on this, so I don't think it'll be faked.
Oh dear.
As I say, the simplest exercise you can do is take your mobile phone, if you've got GPS on it, put a nice little sort of wrap of tin foil, leave one end open, point that at the sky with the aerial facing that way, which is normally at the top of your phone, and the only thing you'll pick up is GPS. You could then repeat that experiment by turning all the internet, Wi-Fi, everything else off on your phone, put it in flight mode, and see if it still gets GPS.
Yeah, but then he'll just say that there's a balloon directly above him.
I'm not saying there are balloons. All I know is
you just said it.
They launch balloons, don't they?
Yeah. And so what?
What they're there for, I don't know.
Because they launch balloons, therefore all satellites are balloons.
They launch weather
He's
balloons.
he's trying to infer that satellites aren't real.
Balloons. That's all I'm saying.
They tend to be weather balloons because satellites aren't very good at picking up weather data when you actually have a balloon flying through what you're trying to fucking measure.
How come when we zoom in on these satellites, there's no balloons attached to them?
Because they're not balloons.
When have you ever zoomed in on a satellite?
Well, I haven't personally.
What?
But I'm pretty sure that some people track these satellites.
The International Space Station is a satellite, and a lot of people
Not
record.
zooming in on it, is it? That's tracking it. That's different.
Wouldn't you be able to see the balloon?
No, you upset the fucking budgie.
You'd see the balloon,
Wouldn't
yes.
it be a pretty big balloon?
Of course you would. The trouble with seeing satellites from Earth is the satellites are, relatively speaking, very small.
Right. Except for ISS, of course.
Obviously, yes. And plenty of people have zoomed in on that and filmed it in all its wonderful detail.
But I mean, a satellite that weighs, I don't know, 1.5 tons, you'd need a lot of balloons for that, wouldn't you?
You'd see the balloons, yes. You probably still wouldn't see the satellite because it still wouldn't, relatively speaking, be that large.
Right.
If you put something the size of a car up at the altitude of some of these satellites, you ain't going to see it. Too small.
So Brian, how many birthday balloons do you think it would take to lift a car?
Now, just really quickly, I have to add something here. The reason why a balloon or a variable position item or transmitter would not work is the only reason GPS works is you know the orbital path and thus the location relative to the ground at any moment in time,
yes,
where you can then synchronize the timings to do trilateration. If that satellite just blows around in the wind, it's useless.
Quite.
I would agree with you. Other than the satellite itself could get its positions from a fixed point on Earth, couldn't it?
It's not how satellites and GPS works. It's the other way around.
I'm just asking if it could.
Yeah, well, actually, it could get its location, yes, but the issue is it would have to transmit its new location every time. And in the GPS packet data, the data that is transmitted from, let's say, the ident of the satellite that you're actually looking at, it's always the same because in I think 8 hours, that satellite has gone all the way around the Earth and come back around the other side in the exact same path. So it's transmitting its thing, and it could be getting that from the ground, but it would have to stay. It would have to stay in that path because it's the same data when it comes back around the next time and the next time. It'll do that 4 times a day.
What if this balloon is very high up and it's got like a rocket engine, like a rocket propulsion behind it, hauling ass around the Earth?
Oh, could it be manned by orangutans? Because that would be awesome.
That might not be as daft as what it sounds. That you could have thrusters, battery-run thruster motors to position the balloon, couldn't you?
What, in space? So you think you can launch a balloon from Earth here and get it into space?
I'm talking about satelloons that are in our atmosphere.
Then they're balloons.
Yes, I'm saying.
And it's going to get big rocket engines, and these are solar powered. So it will store energy as it's flying with the sunlight. It's storing energy, and when it's going around with the darkness, it's already got solar power stored. So balloons with rocket engines attached to it, very high up and hauling us around the Earth.
If it's in
They-
the air,
I'm
think
going to
about
say,
this.
I'm sorry,
I'm
go
going
ahead.
to say that's possible. I'm going to say that's possible. We could, if so. So you have to say this. If balloons could tell where they were, because they're doing triangulation trilateration from the ground, and then they could transmit it. We could build a positioning network based on just on balloons with like maybe thrusters, so that they don't just fuck off into the middle of the ocean somewhere. We could do that. Is that GPS? Is that Galileo? Is that GLONASS? No, because we can see these things moving faster than anything's ever moved in atmosphere, and we can track them, and they are cycling round the Earth 4 times a day.
Come on, let's
A simple,
brainstorm. I
a
already
simple,
gave you
a
go ahead,
simple
Gary.
thing to do, Brian. Open your GPS, pick up a satellite, and see how long you can see it. If it's a balloon, you should see it all day long.
Open my GPS, log
Yeah,
into
pick one of the satelloons and see how long you still have communication with it. If it's a satelloon, it should be all day long. You should see it there all the time. All those that you see should be there.
Oh, they are there all day long. But when remember, like when it's something really bright against something a little darker, like that washes out, and your eyes don't allow you to see them all the time. They're
No, you
always there,
don't.
but you don't always see them because your eyes.
No, you don't. You look at the screen of your GPS, not the sky.
Oh no, that's all. The GPS can be preloaded with some ghost data that don't have to be there.
So what you're saying, Choi, if they're not there,
You'll have to find a reason why they're not there.
right? Well, we've just been told that they circle the Earth every
Well,
8.
those are satellites, not satelloons.
Yeah, like every hour and a half, every 90 minutes. Now listen to this, because John Rapp repeated this, and I didn't pay attention before, but he got a point. If there's a dome, if NASA rubs these balloon satelloons, this rub it, you know the static that you when you rub a balloon on Earth. If they rub these big
Stick.
balloons, they will stick to the dome, and they will kind of they will slide around. Yeah.
You've got something there, Jose, because that means it would be static Earth. Static Earth is unmoving.
Exactly. Yep. It has to do with electromagnetism, the dome, the grinding around the dome, but it doesn't have too much. It doesn't have resistance because it's so smooth dome.
Brazilian.
I'm just
Something like that.
wondering how I can do this.
It's not magic. It's not magical dragons. Is real. It's static. Rubbing the balloons and against the dome makes sense. And then with the solar power rocket engines attached to these balloons, also, shit, we got it sorted.
So if we could wrap something around a satellite receiver and point it upwards, and we can't get satellites, would you agree that satellites aren't in the sky?
Nailed it. You got it. Nailed it.
Let me have a look what I got. Hold on.
Now remember, guys, that we can come up with these easy explanations, more more common sense than others. Like Like when people say like, but you can see where the astronauts walked on the moon. This Armstrong and Aldrin, they walk on the moon because you can see the steps with whatever, super powerful zoom satellite cameras, and you can see the steps on the moon. But that could have been with a damn, this motherfucker making noise. Non-manned mission, a robotic via remote control mission, and they put a little car robot with tiny boots in the robot. So instead, like the tanks, the tanks that they got these big rollers, but it got like shoes on it, so you can make the shoes via robotic remote control thing. You see, we can come up. I mean, that's easier to do than putting a freaking man on the moon, taking the risk to end their lives.
Or maybe they found this on the moon, those steps, and made the shoes to look like the steps they found on the moon.
No, that's too easy.
What?
They had to put a remote control robot car with tiny boots to make the steps look real.
Do you think I could convince Brian to put his mobile phone in the microwave wrapped in tinfoil?
Fuck off.
Yeah, you want to try that? Turn the camera on and leave the mic on.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brian.
Ladies and gentlemen, please don't try this at home, unless your name's Brian.
I think Brian has his camera on. Let's see what you got here. Let me share you to YouTube.
Inside, Brian.
Can you see it?
Yeah, good old Dustin.
Sorry, I was hot micing. I'll stay on mute. You're muted, Brian. There you go. We hear you now.
Right. Can you see that drone?
Yes, we all see it.
Right. That's the GPS.
Very bad feedback, Brian. Very bad feedback.
Hold on. What's going on?
I hate to miss this, but I gotta take a pic.
Is it working now?
That sounds better.
Yep, fine.
I shut my other one down. I've got two running. Right, so we got a drone with the GPS receiver there. So if we built something like, I'm just going to nick some of the.
Wait. Where is the GPS receiver? Before you do, Brian, where is the GPS?
Build some sort of a cone around that then. So it could only see from the top. You with me? Hello?
Yeah.
We see you.
And we'll see how many sats we pick up. We have to earth this out though. This would have to be to earth, else this itself would act as an antenna.
Yeah, you need to isolate it from the antenna.
I would have to earth that down to the battery. I mean, not made of foil. I'll make a steel one and make a cone out of it. It ain't got to fly. It's just got to pick up GPS. You think satellites come down onto this?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
Why do you think GPS receivers on aircraft are on top of the fuselage and not on the underside?
Well, we'll try it. And I'll be the first to put my hand up and say I was wrong if I'm wrong. But we have flown these at a certain field and we can't get any GPS locks on them until we go above the tree line. Now, it could be just a coincidence.
Brian, when you say you have no GPS, what do you mean?
We've got return to home on these drones. And prior to taking off, when you arm the quad, it registers its RTH, return to home position, into the flight controller.
But can you see how many satellites it sees?
Oh, yeah, on the screen.
So
Let me go.
before you get above the trees, you cannot see any satellites at all.
Welcome to Open. Switch warning.
Hold on.
Disarm motors. And switch warning.
So we get GPS back from the drone and it sends the data back to your transmitter so you can monitor constantly your battery level, your ampage usage,
Telemetry.
your GPS position. Now, if it's RSSI is the received signal strength indicator. That's got a minimum value, normally about 40 dB. Once it goes below that, the drone automatically goes over to return to home mode and it goes up to a set altitude, turns and returns to the place that it took off from. But to do that, it's got to get a link. It's got to get the position.
Right. So, but there's the difference between have the position and see satellites, and how many satellites it has.
It needs.
And you see how many satellites it acquired already.
Yeah, it tells you in the goggles. It tells you.
And how much you have now?
Now.
Now, at this moment.
What?
At this moment, yes.
It ain't got a fucking battery on it.
Right.
It needs a battery. You won't get any satellites in here. In fact, I do. If I stick it by the window, I get a satellite.
Not without a battery.
Not without a battery, no. What was I going to say? It can pick up to 17. Well, I've had 17, 18 satellites. If you're flying in quite a populated area. Out in the sticks, if we go out to the flying club, it's down to sort of 7 and 8 type things. I might be able to show you actually. How long are you going to run for, Jose? Yeah. Jose.
okay.
Jose?
He's obviously away from the mic.
Must be. Well, that's a test we can do. And, either me or you is going to end up eating our words.
See, when I open this Android app, it has two two things. It has in view and in news, which are two different things.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You may have satellites in view, but you won't be able to use them.
I have a drone too. I could do the same experiment.
Big gigantic shout out to RT96. Glad that you
This is
stay
nothing.
to have a little bit of fun. And big thank you for your support, brother. I really appreciate it. Stay safe out there, man. Got me.
How long are you going to run for now, Jose?
I'm thinking because I got in 1 hour. My parents are coming. From my sister is gonna bring them over. They haven't come in visit me yet here, so I got like an hour. I got to do a little bit of kind of a little bit of magic to make everything nice and smelly and clean. So I don't know, maybe half an hour. I just need to do kind of organize a couple of things around. It's not too messy, so
All right.
maybe
Well,
half an hour more, and I'll get out of here.
I'll see if I can't rig some up so you can see the on-screen display that shows you the satellites. So give me, I don't know, 10 minutes.
Fair enough.
Yep. Been a fun, interesting episode today. All kinds of shenanigans.
Yeah.
Three B. What is 3B? If we have 3D, what is 3B? The three Bryans, probably. Mavic, Leaky, Logic.
Oh no, don't cross the streams. Blimey.
Yeah, if you cross
Bloody
the
hell.
stream from those three, man. Holy hell. Did you get to watch that Ghostbusters movie? Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters, yes.
The new one? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool, right?
No, I enjoyed it. I think I
Bit
might
fun.
even had a little speck of sentiment in my eye at one point. I
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot. It was way better than I thought. Oh, this is going to be,
Yeah, exactly.
or
It was
a
fun.
reboot. But no, it was yeah.
It's nice. They had a lot of nostalgia, but it was kind of a
Yes.
new thing, for the youth, something new.
Yeah. And it did actually make me want to go back and watch the original again,
right.
which
Yeah.
I did. But no, it was enjoyable, and I have watched the first episode of in your image with the helmet.
The peacemaker thing.
Yeah. Oh my lord.
Yeah, that was something. I know.
Yeah, I've only watched the first episode. I will persevere with it, but it was like, what the bloody hell have I just watched?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I know. It's interesting, Yeah.
Yeah.
The third gets a lot better, and then the fourth for me. The second one is like the first one. You go like, what the fuck am I watching? The third one you start getting a little bit better, and then the fourth one you're like, all right, I'm interested now.
No, that's cool. I will crack on and watch them at some point. Yeah. No, I just watched that first one. I thought, right, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Now, the movie that I watched a few days ago, and I've been holding in to watch it because I have heard so many ridiculous things. Is the Fast 9, the Fast and Furious movies, which I was a big fan of the first one, actually, just the first one. I'm not a car guy, so I said like, yeah, it's a fun movie about races. Then you got the second. I seen them all, but I seen them like way after they go past theater and they're out there or whatever. So I sat down and I watched the Fast 9, the latest ones, and I enjoyed the movie, but it was so ridiculous. The physics, just the physics of the whole thing. I said, like, dude, this is so good to criticize. Like, watch the movie a little bit, criticize it. Like, this just impossible in real life is impossible, and they make some scenes and some situations like so fucking ridiculous, man. But it's a fun movie to watch.
Yeah,
hold on. C4 is asking what show. The show is Peacemaker with John Cena. Fast 9, yeah, the physics are ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, I only ever watched the first one, and I weren't too impressed with it because they're spending a small fortune on tuning up these, these cars, and you think, why don't you just go out and buy a second-hand Porsche 911 Turbo? It will just piss all over them, and you'll do it for a fraction of the price. It was silly then, and I've watched bits of the later films, and there's the one with the tank, and it's just like, really, oh, it's
You had Mike in Earth's life.
Hey, now I'm sorry, but I just want to say something real quick. I'm about to go back on mute. But did you record the last few after shows?
I might have, yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to know because I had Gary and I was trying to show Gary something, but he got so upset and he left before I was able to show it to him. I just want to know why Gary was so upset.
It's a defense mechanism. Every time he feels he's going to find the truth and will have to admit he was wrong, he leaves.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't record it, it's fine. But because I went ahead and made another one, I'll be putting it out probably the next day or so. That way he can have a better look at it and show exactly why he was wrong.
All right, let me see what I got recorded to see if I got it. If I do, I'll upload it.
Okay.
Later.
That's all.
Yeah. Now, really quick, right? Two of the scenes of this Fast Furious 9, right? There was one scene with this Tyrone guy, one of the guys, the black guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's like hitting, and there's a bunch of like soldiers shooting, like shooting at him with a bunch of bullets. He's just kind of running, and none of the bullets hit him. He's just shooting back without looking, and he's hitting a few guys, right? But he's hiding in this corner, and then he's like a 2 stories building or whatever. So he's hiding in a corner. There's a bunch of guys surrounding, like in the roof, but there's a big hole in the roof. So there's a bunch of guys surrounding that hole, and then they're all shooting down, and he go like, fuck it. And he just step out of the hiding. He step in the middle of the hole, and he starts shooting up around. And he just kill them all. So they all shooting down with like machine guns. They're all shooting down. They don't even hit him once. And he shoot them all. He killed them all. I said, like, what the fuck? He didn't even have a helmet. Just a plain head. I said, bro, one shot couldn't hit him. That's ridiculous.
That all sounds a bit dodgy.
Yeah, there's another one, bro. They all say like, oh shit, they're mines, like a big landmine, like a mile long or whatever. They all in their fast cars and a big ass truck. And there's a bunch of jeeps, military jeeps behind them. So they say like, no, we gotta go this fast. They did the math. If we go this fast, and when the bomb explodes, it's gonna blow a radius of this amount. And if we go fast enough, the blast is not gonna hit us. So they're going really fast, and all the blast, they're just exploding the mines. It's not hitting any of them, but they're exploding all the jeeps, all the bad guys around them. So all the cars of the protagonists and the main people are just cruising, flowing, and all the other ones blowing up and exploding and shit. I mean, that movie is like that, exaggerated, man. It's a fun watch for that. You go like, oh, face palms,
Yeah. You sort of have to suspend belief in
exactly. Yeah, that's what I had to do when I saw the beginning. I said, like, yeah, this is gonna be that movie. Yeah,
I think I'd struggle with that. I mean, that sounds pretty bad. I mean, trying to drive fast enough so you can drive over a landmine without you blowing yourself up. Nah.
And then the part of this little levitated bridge, one of these little hanging bridge with big thick ropes and little pieces of wood, and then one car go really fast, and when it's like halfway, the ropes explode. The rope explode one of the side, and the car keeps driving as the bridge is crumbling, and he is able to make it all the way up. But then the other car come really, really fast, so he can hit the corner where is holding that one single rope. He hit it so hard that it notches in the front wheel, and then the car swings like Tarzan all the way to the other side, and then it lands in the road in the other side, and he keeps driving. Something like that.
That sounds well iffy.
Well, if you move fast enough, that sounds
Yeah. I gotta go really
possible.
fast. That's it.
Yeah, like supersonic and
Yes, exactly.
And then these two guys, they go to space, so they build spacesuits. They put a rocket engine in the car, and they put the car in a rocket. They launch the rocket. You got the separation, and they two guys are in a car with the rocket engine. They shoot the rocket engine. I think they keep going high enough so they can reach some satellite, and they can do their magic and did disassemble it. But then they just hit the rocket so fast. They said, like, we don't have time, so let's shoot this rocket. Let's go really fast in the car. They're already in space, so they shoot this rocket. They hit the satellites, explodes, and the car keeps floating. So how are they gonna escape that? Well, out of coincidence, the International Space Station is going nearby, and they go like, "Hey!" And the astronauts in the space station say, like, "What is that over there?" And then the guys are waving, and they exit the car like, "Hey, we're here, we're friendly." And that's sorted out. Then the next scene, they're already chilling in Earth, having a beer. Like, man, that was crazy, right?
That
That's
would
the
be
movie.
cool if a flat earther got a rocket, went up and like just knocked on the ISS's window and said, "Hey, let us in."
How about that, Farmer's Boy? The car, the rocket, International Space Station, all that is in the movie.
You've just made that all up.
There is one in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy when they are thrown out of the spaceship and picked up by another.
Oh, that's when they're thrown out of the Vogon spaceship. And just at the point where they're going to die, they're rescued by Zaphod's spaceship.
Yeah, and there is a calculation. What's the odds it will happen?
And it just happens to be the phone number. I think it was the phone number of Trillions Flat, if I remember rightly.
I don't
An improbability of 1 to some ridiculously long number, yes. But of course, that's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, so therefore not real.
The definitive guide to everything scientific.
It's pure nonsense.
Let's get the floor for a minute. We're about to wrap it up very soon, but Dr. Bro is here. Dr. Bob. What's up, Bob? How you doing? If
Hey.
you are... Hey.
How's it going, guys?
All is good. Got any thoughts about anything? What do you think, man, about the shocking news about Schrodinger's cat, man? I touched it up that earlier in the morning. Big loss, to this corner of the YouTube.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's quite a tragedy. I've known him for years. He was a good guy.
Yeah, any updates?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, no, let's not try to speculate. If anybody have a legit update, if you want to share, but if not, try to just to get a hold of his wife, main channel, close friends. So let's try not to speculate about anything.
Oh, I just asked if there are any updates.
Yeah, I hear you did. What's been going on with your channel, Bob? You've been putting up some videos, huh?
Yeah, just doing a few of them. I did a live stream on the astrolabe today. That was a lot of fun. That thing's an amazing instrument,
Nice.
I'm editing a video, and I just thought I'd stop over and see what was going on.
Don't tempt them, Bob, because they're gonna say the astrolabe is the 2022 is the year of the astrolabe and flat Earth.
Year of the astrolabe.
If they can figure out how it works.
Yeah, it really doesn't help them at all, especially since it doesn't involve the horizon. It has to do with the zenith.
Any group or any groups around or content creators messing up with you? I know they've been messing up with you for the last month or so, but I think Nathan Oakley is on to you. I've seen your name and blues every once in a while in their titles.
Oh, he likes doing that once in a while. It gets him some views. But no, everything's going great. Everybody's doing well. Don't have any issues with anyone. Took care of the one that I had. He got the message. He got the memo, and changed his behavior, and he's fine.
That's good. Good stuff. Yeah, we've been going on for a little while. I mean, Brian said he was gonna go back, but I gotta get out of here. Uh, let's do a quick roundup of final thoughts. Bob, today we talked about gravity a little bit, then about rockets. We saw a few. There were 3 launches this past week. We entertained those. There was all kinds of good shenanigans that we spoke about. You want to give any final thoughts for the audience? A message for them, not necessarily related to the show. Any message that you have for people listening around here?
Let's see. James Webb made it to L2. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we're going to start seeing some really fantastic images from it. And I'm really looking forward to those. Should be an order of magnitude better than Hubble.
All right,
Not
Earth is
really.
live. Earth is live. Then Farmer's Boy. Then Gary C. I got to lead for a second. Keep going down on alphabetical order. I'll be back in a minute.
Your final thoughts?
Yeah.
Hey, just good show, Jose. I just want to give a quick shout out and a rest in peace to our friend and fellow content creator, Schrodinger's cat. Very upsetting news coming from his family. Just want to send my prayers out to his family. Hopefully everything is okay. That's all.
Cool. Must be my turn then, as Jose's buggered off. And just to thank you very much for another wonderful show in which we learnt that eggs float. Oh, no, hang on. We already knew that. Never mind. There you go. Joikey.
No, I don't really have much to say. But shout out to Brian that entertained us.
Yeah, I just got back. Gary, quick final thoughts.
Yeah, be sure to subscribe to my channel, watch my latest videos, and you'll understand why boats do not disappear bottom first over a curve. Thank you. Boom.
Boom. J-Mac, final thoughts.
Yeah, boats disappear over the horizon because of the curvature. But thanks, Jose. I've kind of been missing lately. I keep missing you. Been a busy week, but thank you.
Thank you. Mojok Man.
Greetings. I'm kind of disappointed that none of the flat earthers took up the mantle when I started posting about this wonderful eruption from Tonga. I thought it needed some explanation on the flat earth, but they seem to have 100% avoided it. I didn't catch any of the show, so I can't comment on that, but good to be here. That's it.
All right. Stingray.
Yeah, good show, Jose. You can often tell someone's intellect by and whether you should listen to them, and that's by qualifying statements with no quantification, which means no, you're wrong, it's wrong, it won't work, you're fucking stupid. That's qualifying and thus needs quantification of why it won't work. And if no one supplies that, don't ever listen to their very naive, very immature opinion. Cheers, Jose.
Thank you very much. C4, you got any final thoughts? How about Big Blue?
Hello, Jose. Yeah, I got a final thought. Boats do not disappear. The damn things are still there. You just can't see them because there's a big fucking rock in the way. Shout out to Schrodinger's cat. I really hate to see to lose that guy. He was a good one, man. All right, that's all I got. See you, man.
See you. Thank you very much. Everybody stay safe out there. Take care of yourself. Take care of your close ones. Have fun. And I'll see you another day in another boom. Jose JG out. Peace.